Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, to Capping TV. This is Capping TV. We have a really special game for you tonight. This will be Prem, ozfortress Prem, Season 44, Spring 2025. This will be Azerbaijan Technology versus smyb, and it is the qualifying final, which in other words means this is the lower bracket of the playoffs for Prem. Season 44, the top division in ozfortress. Winner goes to the next round, loser goes home. With me, I have Ghost to cast this very special match. I have a very special guest. How are you, Ghost?
Hello, how's everyone going? Yes, we have a game on our hands today, which we'll hopefully go ahead to schedule. But before we get to it, it is playoffs now in Premier, so now we're coming down to the important side of the games here. So, playoffs in Prem will be following an AFL format. As you can see on the screen there, that is what has happened so far. So, I have also written this in my notebook. I actually wrote down pen and paper the old-fashioned way, so I don't get confused. So, in the upper bracket, we had Balls seed number 1 take on Digger number 4. As a result of that, Balls has now got their ticket to the prelim final, so they're playing a little bit later. They're not playing in the semi-finals. However, in that semi-final 1, we're going to be having Digger taking on Ascension, who did beat off Freakoff, I believe, unless that hasn't been played. I'm pretty sure it's been played, from what I recall. But regardless, though, they will play in a semi-final 1, but then that qualifying final 2, loser gets eliminated. Yes. However, in this next one, though, we got our game we're covering tonight will be Azerbaijan taking on smyb, which is Seed 7 taking on Seed 6. Loser of this gets eliminated. Winner proceeds to that semi-final 2, which will take on the winner of that second qualifying final, being WOG versus TTT. smyb, do you want to take us through this roster, please, Corbt?
Yeah, sure. So the first team tonight is smyb, sometimes called smyb. We have Tennis on Combo Scout, Fane on Flank Scout, Pride and Trash as the Soldier Duo, and then for demo we have Doctrine and Golden on Medic. Is there anyone that stands out to you from this roster, Ghost?
Well, first of all, I think what stands out is we don't need mercs, so that's a good start. But no, anyway, look, I think this is one of the more not upcoming rosters, but probably I'd say one of the more consistent. Like, this is a lot of players here, especially Tennis, first time playing Prem. I think Tennis might be the first one here playing Prem actually for a season potentially, but otherwise, I think one of the more rounded rosters, and I'd say one of the one of the most improved teams we have in Prem this season. Especially having Fane, I'd probably say is my standout. You got your most experienced player on obviously flank there, but I think having Fane there to hold everyone together and give everyone advice and tips, I think it's quite good, especially on that sort of flank with Pride. But I think the probably standout player, I'd say, would probably be Fane on Scout, and maybe, I guess, their combo for general Doctrine, Tennis, and Golden on the side of smyb.
Yeah, as you say, one of the up-and-coming teams, but Fane has been around quite a while, I believe, in Prem, so maybe a guiding force for this team as they take on Azerbaijan Technology. Maybe we can go over that roster. We have Lily on Combo Scout, Air on Flank Scout, Homer and APVC as the Soldier Duo, Campbell on Demoman, and Samson on Medic. What about this roster, Ghost? Anyone that takes your pick?
I mean, I have to point out, again, Campbell and Air, especially, but I guess the one big factor looking at this is when you compare Tennis and Air's when you compare the Scout duo of Tennis and Fane and Lily and Air, I think it's generally just quite an even game all around. But the thing I do want to watch out on this is definitely the Soldier duo of Homer and APVC to see what they can do. 9 kills, 7 deaths. I don't know if that is the most up-to-date stats. I feel like there probably is a bit more. But anyway, no, I think watching the duo of Homer and APVC on the side of Azerbaijan Technology is probably what we should keep an eye out there, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I think we casted one of the last matches of the regular season, and Homer and APVC certainly get up to a lot. A lot of definitely mayhem, a lot of mischief for Azerbaijan Technology, and a lot of game-saving plays. So hopefully we can see a few of those tonight. Speaking of tonight, maybe let's go over the vetoes.
Indeed. So, with the vetoes, which I'm pulling up now on my end here, because we went live very quickly and I'm so prepared. Here's 2 seconds. Easy. So, I guess a pretty standard veto all-round SMYB banning out product. Kinda expected. I definitely saw they were struggling in the official when they were playing against TTT, and especially having that off-class sort of the off-classing factor of sniper, and not able to pressure the sniper, and I guess just a very awkward map. I feel like for them, and it's fair to see that get banned out. So it doesn't surprise me there. And then Sunshine getting out by Azerbaijan, which they did lose to this team of SMYB. So again, I think a fair ban as well by the side of Azerbaijan. And I guess also potentially just a map where when I was looking at general scrims and games they played in the past, it looks like it wasn't a map they were focusing too much on. I think they knew it was just going to be a perma ban for them to get rid of in this game anyway. But then SMYB picking out Process, which I think kind of makes sense. A very pretty, standard map, comfort pick. And I feel like the side of Azerbaijan probably are quite happy with that as well. I think it benefits both teams here. No one sort of loses out. However, being the side of SMYB's map pick, I feel like Process definitely will be likely one of their more comfortable maps. But they also definitely had a good run for Process as well in the regular season. When you look back towards their Process, I believe it wasn't... Let me have a look. Oh, actually, sorry. Process did verse one of the high C teams. I guess you could say it was a write-off, but I think overall probably just a comfort map for them, for the side of SMYB. But this is where it gets interesting. Granary getting picked out by APVC's team, which makes sense. And I feel like this is even a punish pick for the side of SMYB, because SMYB did not play it during the regular season. It was a buy round, and being a buy round, likely chances they probably haven't focused on too much till recent.
Yeah.
I was speaking to some of them prior to all this, and they were still going over the Granary, having a look at it. So this is where it gets interesting, where I feel like a win condition for this, if SMYB want to win, they need to win Process. If they don't win Process, it's going to get a little bit dire. Bagel getting banned out by Azerbaijan coming out, and we know why. I think you casted with me, potentially, I remember, was especially the forward holds. They struggled a lot getting out of, and I feel like that's a fair ban. And then Snakewater getting picked as the final map, which Azerbaijan also did struggle a little bit on, but I think it's a fair... I think overall, the general maps are fine. I think Azerbaijan should be quite happy with the map picks and bans and how they've gone, but win condition, though, I feel like for this game is SMYB need to win Process. You don't win Process, I think the game's going to be over.
Yeah, it's a really good point there. If they don't win Process, and then, as you say, losing Granary, losing the second map out of a best of 3, the momentum just shifts so fast, and Snakewater, pretty popular pug map. I mean, both teams will know it pretty well. With the momentum that Azerbaijan have, they could just very easily come back and win this full best of 3 tonight. Just to go over, these teams did face in the regular season, and as you were saying, Ghost, they did face each other on Sunshine, I believe. That ended up being
Sunshine Week. It was a trade.
4-1 to smyb on Sunshine, as you say, a trade. So Azerbaijan Technology did win clear-cut that week, 3-0. So maybe Azerbaijan favoring Koth, but they don't end up getting any Koth tonight. It's just 5CP.
I mean, clear-cut getting left over as well, so that doesn't get picked, which is quite interesting. However, yeah, the main thing is the win. Yeah, as I said earlier, the win condition is that Granary getting picked out definitely is a smart move by the side of Azerbaijan and almost a punish pick. My concern is if we get to Gran is, especially on that map, is the mids of who can roll out the fastest, because I know the side of SMYB was scrimming this last night when I was looking through general logs and everything. Wasn't the best results, but they did, when I was discussing and talking to them prior, one of the things they were struggling with was their rollout speeds on that map. So I think Process, they need to get the momentum on that map, and they need to, start on the right foot. Otherwise, it's going to be an uphill battle when they get to Grand, and then having to force map 3. But I think having an experienced player like Fane as well on the team of SMYB is probably gonna benefit them if they do get into that point of not tilt, but when it gets a little bit downhill and they need to have a refresher, have a pause, have a think. I think Fane can definitely get some ideas going if on the map like Grand, but I think overall the fact is Process comfort map, you have to show up on your map pick, obviously, but SMYB especially picking a map like Process map as well, the side of Azerbaijan probably also know too well.
Yeah, as you say, Process one of the biggest pug map in Oceania. So both teams will be knowing it. We did cover, I think, week 7, we did cover smyb versus the Digger Family Land, who ended up being the 4th seed, I believe.
Yes.
And smyb did end up winning Process. They did lose 3-0 on the other map, which I think was Product.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty convinced. Well, good for them to take a map off the 4th seed, on Process. So as you say, not too surprising that they do pick up Process for their first pick. I'm sure they will be confident on it going in. And I think I'd have to agree with you. It does seem like a soft win condition. If they don't end up winning Process, it could just fall apart on Granary, and that's the best of 3 over. And that is smyb going home, of course. This is an elimination final.
Yeah, I mean, this is do or die for both teams anyway. Loser gets eliminated and winner moves on to that semi-final. As you can see on your screens, ladies and gentlemen, we do just have to play off bracket once again updated with the teams. So obviously, qualifying balls have got their free ticket to that prelim finals. Ascension taking down Freakoff, move to that semi-final 1. Elimination. Looks like they've generated wrong. But anyway, elimination final 1, regardless. So SMYB moved to that semi-final 2. And then SMYB or Azerbaijan moved to semi-final 2. Same for elimination final 2, being WOG and Co. versus TTT. However, after the semi-final games, that's where it crosses over. Prelim will versus the winner of semi-final 2. Prelim final 1, sorry. And then prelim final 2 versus the winner of semi-final 1. And then that sort of also gives us the, the winner of the prelims moves to grand final, and then losers move down to the 3rd place game. But overall, yeah, I think win condition for this game for SMYB is they need to win out Process. I think Azerbaijan are a lot more flexible. They can win either map, I think, is fine. If they win Process, I feel like they're going to have a big advantage coming to Grand, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So the winner, I believe, goes against Freakoff. Do you think both of these teams?
I believe that it should be. That's incorrect. The winner will take on the winner of WOG and Co versus TTT.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. But wait, there's no way that WOG and Co and elimination.
That's been generated.
Yeah, okay,
it's been generated wrong.
Yeah.
WOG and Co versus TTT, and then the loser of that will verse the winner of this game. Winner of that qualifying final 2 moves to the prelim final, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, we're just waiting for players to join. As you can see, reminding to people who are just joining us now, Process will be our starting first map, picked by SMYB, Granary picked by Azza, and Snakewater if needed as a decider. Look, overall, I think, I think this is... It definitely can go anyone's way. I think we have probably one of the closer Prem playoff games on our hands. This, and obviously coming into Prem playoffs, obviously people expected to have a very competitive 3rd place, seed. And obviously, unfortunately, we had 2 teams fall out during the season, which is unfortunate. So it has turned out just to be everyone making it at the end. But no, I think, this playoff game that we have coming up is, I'd say, probably one of the more closer games we definitely have on our hands. But let's I guess we're just trying to see what happens. But I think Process is definitely going to be hopefully not one-sided, but as soon as you start getting momentum on Process, I think that's where it can go downhill. But also, especially watching, I do want to see how, again, if Azerbaijan respond, especially with their soldier of APVC and Homer.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure that Soldier Duo will be licking their lips looking at Granary, such a good soldier map. I think APVC is the pocket, I think, so he might have a field day on that map for sure. But looking at Process, is there any sort of class matchups that you think of when you think of that map? For me, I think of it just seems like such a scout dominated map with all the high ground, especially on mid. It's so important. Do you think that maybe Fane, the experience for smyb, might carry them over, or any sort of class matchups you're looking for on Process?
Um, I feel like I do agree with that. I feel like Process as well. You look at Fane as the most experienced player. Um, he definitely can, probably not carry them over, but definitely give advice when need be, and definitely help out when need be. I don't think, obviously, his soldier is his main class. This is one he's best on. His scout is still pretty decent, but I feel like he's just going to slot in, do what needs to be done. He definitely can have pop-off performances, yes, but I do feel like they got Fane, and I feel like Fane definitely can sort of help them out where need be, where, you know, where things get tough, and also definitely just help with the mental sort of game coming into this best of three, and also I guess the first playoff game for a lot of people in this server.
Yeah, as you say, a bit of a guiding force for them. One of the most improved teams in Prem, as you say. I think a few of them, even their first season tennis, I believe. First season in Prem, so we'll see if they can pull it off on their first playoff game. Again, we are just waiting for players to get into the server. Luckily, we don't have any mercs tonight, so we should have a match in our hands, or at least the match we're planning. We're currently at 10 out of 12 in the server, so you know, there's no ozfortress match that ever gets scheduled on time, but luckily this one won't be an hour delayed because of mercs. So yeah.
Is it worth as well? I'm hoping we have a graphic for this, but obviously reminding people that we do have Summer Brawl coming up next year at the nice Brisbane, nice good old Bliss. Yes, there you go. Summer Brawl 2026, Brisbane, Australia, January 17th at the Bliss Internet Cafe. Nice little LAN to kick off the start of the new year. But yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys there. Jan 17th should be fun. Nice little LAN. Bliss Internet Cafe, one of the really, really nice venues that have been supporting us for the Summer Brawl. But we're obviously just waiting for players to join. 10 out of 12. I don't know if it is worth if we have... Oh, okay, 11 out of 12. Cool. So we should be going live soon, hopefully. But yeah, Summer Brawl, January 2026. Summer Brawl 2026, January 17th, Brisbane, Australia. I guess as well, predictions as well, if you want to quickly give Process before we quickly throw to a small break. What do you think Process is going to turn out regarding scoreline, and who do you think will take that first map rolling in to the game?
Yeah, I mean, not to say it for the plot, but I do think smyb will take it. They look really convincing against the Digger Family Land, you know, a stronger team. They did win that 4-3. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something similar, maybe a bit more cagey, you know, first playoff game of the season for both teams. So I'd say 3-2 for smyb.
Being smyb's a map pick, and I'm hoping they have something planned on it, and I feel like they definitely have things planned out, and especially having Fane as well, who I feel like Process is one of his best maps. I don't think anyone, you play Process so much. I feel like they definitely have something planned out, and I will give it to smyb, but scoreline probably I'd say 4-3. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to quickly go to a small break. Otherwise, yeah, we'll be back in just a moment. We're in. We are in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the ozfortress Season 44 Prem Elimination Final number 1. It is Azerbaijan Technology take on smyb. Joining me tonight will be corbt. Otherwise, we are rolling into this first mid here. Campbell doing a pretty standard roller here, getting a bit of spam onto the other side here. No frags yet coming from either side, though. Just both teams changing a bit of damage here. Nothing to yet to see. We do see a little bit of high control coming from Azerbaijan, but no one really hasn't made a move yet. But however, smyb are the first to make a move. Campbell getting out Trash, getting trained out by Air and Lilia. Doctor taking out Air there. Homer, ABV taking out Tennis in the process. Fane taking out now Homer. However, Pride going onto the medic there. Samson should get taken down there. Samson does get taken down in the process. Lilia does take down Pride, and this mid is actually turned out really well for the side of smyb. Sorry, and also Mr. also, Mr. Producer, I think you got your teams on the wrong way as well.
Yeah, no, it's really clutch rockets from Pride there to pick up the mid kill, the all-important mid kill in Al-Qaeda there, just getting the rocket onto the box, just enough splash to take down Samson, as the blue team would be smyb. Sorry, just the graphics, we will be fixing them. smyb are pushing on to second here, Fane just taking the high ground, and there's going to be little to no resistance from the red team. They're just going to have to sit up to last because Golden has lived. So it's full ad into last. Let's see which door they take this Ghost.
Yeah, Uberad, really nice bit. And actually through door number 3 here already. However, though, no Freya's going to take out the Olivia up in this heaven position as heavy, though. Central Gun does getting out process. Tennis does get taken out, though, however. So this last push is slowly crumbling, actually, for the side of SMYB. So it might actually be falling apart, which it has, with Golden living and already hightailing it out of it through IT. Does he get caught? I think he should be safe. He is, but I feel like SMYB maybe played a little bit too fast, I feel like. But I feel like as well, there might have been a mistake there of Tennis not getting flashed, potentially, and him getting taken out sort of instantly by the heavy from the side of Azerbaijan. And as you can see now, the teams have been switched around, so now we do have the right teams. But we do see a little bit of aggression coming out from SMYB. Trash getting taken out in the process there, and also Fane as well, so two players getting taken out. Make that 3 potentially, however, that doesn't happen there. So SMYB do manage to leave there. However, though, Ubers are probably going to equalize soon anyway on this second point here with Trash coming up on the sniper.
Yeah, Trash in the forward spawn, just trying to get a pick, gets a 50 on the soldier, and will get another 50 to take down APVC and protect his combo on bats there, but it's still going to be an Uber used from Golden, has to use in door 1, so the forces come out for them. Samsung still hasn't used, and they're just going to hightail it out there back to choke. They've got the Dimmerman in the choke, should be able to control it down, but they are going to have this full Uber ad. Just wait for the players, but smyb will not let them just wait. They are ruffling into the mid here. Soldier taking high ground. Now a spawner comes, does Homer, or APVC that is, onto the high ground, and they are just sort of tempting fate, trying to get as much cap time, but they know they can't stay in for too long, otherwise the Uber will come out from Samson, and the red team's doing a really good job at containing this. They are not letting them get the cap, and with the spawners now, they will certainly be pushing it to second gear.
Yeah, I think they should take second without too much resistance, hopefully. However, really nice play coming out from Fane. They're forcing Samson as well, so this actually has turned out better for the side of SMYB, but still on the back foot there. They are stuck on last, so having to get a last set up here. We do have Tennis coming up on the NG here, but Uberad coming out now for the side of SMYB with the force play. But we do see a soldier coming in behind onto Heaven there, trying to get onto Golden, but however though, no, my god,
oh my goodness,
Golden is incredibly weak. However, I think he should be okay. Yeah, he should be okay. Does manage to get back into spawn, does get resub, and they still have a pretty decent amount of ad, but I don't know if it is I don't know if it's playable, which I think they are just going to let it equalize here.
Yeah, first playoff game for smyb, and they're not willing to take a 50% Uber ad out, and you can't really blame them. This is an elimination game, so the loser will be going home. The season is done for them, so they're just opting to stay on last, get the full turtle out, get the level 3 and the dispenser, and just try and play for a round reset. We have 3 minutes on the clock. We have all the players alive, so we'll see how Azerbaijan choose to take this potentially double sack we might see here.
The Doctor needs to be careful they're not getting caught out from the soldiers. I feel like the side of Azerbaijan, their soldiers are actually playing quite well and are getting a good amount of damage onto Doctrine, and Golden gets nuked out of Oblivion. That is full Uber ad. Oh, that's Samson getting taken out as well. Both Mets dropping, and this is collapsing for the side of Azerbaijan. They have collapsed. How does that happen?
I can't believe what I've just seen. Oh, they're coming into the point here. They don't know that the players are back in lobby. They turn around just in time to save it. Campbell and Air get taken out. They don't get the last cap, but I can't believe both medics dropped there. First Golden onto the dispenser armor not working for him, but then Samson just dropping in the transition in lobby.
I think he just ate like a stray scattergun shot, sorry, so that is so unlucky for the side for Samson there, but Golden as well just getting nuked as well completely from the double soldier bomb. But as a result, both meds dropping, it's actually just even out the Ubers effectively. Azerbaijan playing a little bit further back, but not too crazy, just sitting on mid here, just trying to spam out the side of
SMYB onto this midpoint here, but I think both teams are just going to play evens and no aggression coming out from the side of SMYB. 85% Uber, and I think it's just going to even out at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was a bit of a will they, won't they push into choke there. They were testing it, but opting to just take the safe option, just hold on to second. We'll see our second stalemate, but if the first one was anything to go by, it might not be for long. We might see both mids drop again.
Hopefully not, but otherwise, we do see a pretty standard hold coming out from both teams. Trash watching IT there. We do have Tennis on the anti. Actually, Trash getting taken out, so Trash is no longer watching IT. So Pride is now having to go watch that a little bit passively though, so not able to contest as much in IT. We do see Tennis playing in the anti-sack spot. Trash saying is scratching his nose, but otherwise, yeah. Pretty stalemated game here now, and I think SMYB just waiting for Azerbaijan to make their first move. Nice little sewer play. Oh my god, Golden having dodged those rockets there. Nice little sewer angle that Azerbaijan are trying to go for, trying to get some stickies onto Golden to prompt a sack play. However, though, no real commitment yet, but space gained very slowly from Azerbaijan.
Yeah, Homer's in. We'll get one rocket onto the mid, but we'll get taken out. APVC can't get anything onto the follow-up, but it's 3 down now for Azerbaijan. They only get the demo pick out of that pressure cook in sewer. Looks like Soldier now is going to fall. That's Trash. Will die, but trades out with Lilia. The Uber gets used from the red team, and it's just the demo and the medic stuck in sewer. The blue team hasn't used Uber here, and they will certainly be licking their lips as the medic gets faded, but a nice surf. Will he get out? Pride's bombing, trying to follow up. Gets one rocket, gets another. The APVC trying to salvage, and he does. APV and Homer with the forward spawns, they're able to salvage as it's another drop for Golden on mid here.
Not very... I feel like it's very scrappy for both teams, but that IT play coming out from Azerbaijan, I feel like Samsung should just used on Lilia just to had to save players there. Obviously dropping Lilia in the process, but then Golden milking, I feel like milking for too long, in my opinion. A few errors, I feel like, coming on from both sides there, but that is really unfortunate for Golden. Does drop there, and it actually now favors the side of Azerbaijan a bit better, having a slight amount of ad. And as a result, SMYB are managed to actually get the way into second, so without much resistance here. But this Uber ad, though, is grinding really well for the side of Azerbaijan. However, though, staying on the last, but it doesn't look like SMYB want to slow down. They want to get their way into last, but Fane is down, and I think that's just cancelled the push to their last point there.
Yeah, about 20% advantage for Azerbaijan. We'll see if they opt to take it out or opt to just turtle. There's no engineer on the side of the red team, so they might be looking to take it, might be looking to poke and prod. As I say that, yeah, now spawns on the NG, so probably just trying to stay on last and play for the round reset, but we do have a sniper out of Fane.
Oh. Fane coming with a sniper, gun gets taken out already, so has to go build another. Fane look like going to go through door. Probably have seen that dot a little bit potentially, but he's going for an angle. Can he get a shot onto the man? And so close, but Lily gets taken out in the process at the same time. Pride also gets traded out, so 1-for-1 here. And very interested, but does manage to live and try now go for a lobby. I don't think they use him as of yet. Trying to go for a wide pick, does tag the soldier a little bit, does spot Samson there, but Power though choosing to position. So Fane trying to play a little bit guessy, but does just see pockets of Homer there.
Yeah, Samson's playing in an interesting position here, trying to cut off all the possible sniper sightlines. Does have a bit of time now, obviously, what the sniper did, but we do see another off-class. Pride up on the spy already, and he's decloaked in door 5 here. Might just go for the easy soldier pick. He does. APVC falls, so that is going to open up some space for his team to take lobby here as he finds his way into heaven to maybe go for another spy play, but his team trying to cause a distraction. Sticky's coming onto the point, onto the engineer. The spy has decloaked in heaven, but just throwing some revolver shots back and forth. A lot of space, a lot of kills as well as Campbell goes down. The all-important demo pick, and Samson falls! Another drop! What is that, number 4 already? The Uber gets used from the blue team, and surely they'll be able to clean up these kills with the demo man, with the soldiers, with the Uber players. The crunch comes in from the red team, but they're just getting cleaned up. A nice shot onto the soldier is going to make him crater, and it's just the 2 scouts. Some spawners coming out. Campbell's coming out! Might be able to save it! It's just the medic, and that's it! Campbell and Air able to save it for Azerbaijan Technology right at the death.
Unfortunately, they're so close. SMYB, unfortunately,
couldn't manage to get those last few frags quick enough. And I guess HP-wise, it's definitely probably problem there because Aaron Campbell just walled out and just, you know, took down both of them pretty quickly. And now smyb though now on the back foot with Disad. So it looks like Azerbaijan are able to retake second there, but a lot of pressure coming out from smyb. smyb choosing not to give up this second point there, but that's Campbell and Ed getting taken out of the process and already has propped to the side of smyb, trying to get a bit of ground onto this last point there, but they are 3 plays down, make that 4 plays down. I think they need a hightail out there. Golden staying in for too long, and that is another death for him, and this is very, very scrappy, I feel like, from the side of smyb, and I feel like they're trying to play super disrespectfully. It's super like in your face, but some things aren't working out. I feel like it's getting a little bit chaotic on the side of smyb, I have a feeling.
Yeah, it's certainly not working for them so far, as the red team, they are opting to push through sewer here. Maybe they know about the sniper in forwards. It's not going to be there for long as he does backspawn. The Uber gets used though from Samson. To be honest, I'm not sure what forced them there. There was no sniper in the choke. They just used onto mid. So nothing going to come from that Uber. They are still 1 down. smyb. Trash is trying to fight a soldier in IT. Not sure if he's going to secure the kill there. Goes for the rocket jump and does clean it up with the help of his flank scout Fane. So that's going to hold any sort of push for Azerbaijan Technology, but I'm really not sure if that was a misclick. They just used in DC after getting through sewer clean.
I feel like I just want to use Tura and see if I can catch the side of smyb, maybe seeing how aggressive they're playing. But now it's just turned into a leapfrog situation. I guess they used on nothing. They did get Pride, but that's really the only frag. However, though, Uberad shortly coming up from the side of smyb, and I feel like it's just going to even out here on the second here with Samson building really well. And we do, Doctor using Uber as well, so similar. Homer getting taken out, so that at least there's a frag coming up from the side of smyb, but I think this is the same thing of it's just going to be a leapfrog scenario again.
Yeah, really nice shot from APBC. Is going to completely deny Doctrine's bomb as the counter Uber gets used out. Scout gets into the skybox. Campbell is going to pick up Pride. There's a scout under point, which is going to get absolutely destroyed by Campbell. Nice pipe from him. Another scout is caught in, and Shorty Lilia can get the kill here with the pistol out. Does pick up Fane. So the counter Uber looking really good for Azerbaijan Technology there. They pick up 4 kills in total, and they're able to reclaim this midpoint, and certainly looking to pushing into second here.
Indeed, and I think as well, same thing as with Leapfrog now, it is, you know, a little bit of ad for the side of smyb, but I feel like it's just going to even out again for both sides here, and I think the main thing what happened on this play for Azerbaijan, where it worked out really well, is the amount of ground they were gaining on grass, but that's Doctrine just getting run out by a scout there, and that's Doctrine and Trash getting out, and this is our forced aggressive play coming from side of Azerbaijan. Nice serve by Golden into door 1 here, but that is players down. That environment not ideal for the side of it's not ideal for smyb, but I think it's just going to even just going to get this fight with the solving who does get put to the side of smyb, and that is already Azerbaijan calling to back out lobby, and they're just going to probably fully last. So amazing, really good play coming from Azerbaijan.
Yeah, really smart for them to recognize that the spawners would come in time for smyb, so they maybe aren't able to keep last, but they turn it into a sack, and now here they reap the rewards. They use through door 4 with a full Uberad. Soldier gets set into the skybox. Pride will fall as the blue team is just sort of stuck in heaven here. The heavy is going to come out. That's going to fall now is Trash or Tennis, but it doesn't matter because the scout's on the point, and that's the name of the game. Cap the point and you win. Azerbaijan with a clean last push got 1-0.
First round going to Azerbaijan as well now, so yeah, I think not the ideal start I think smyb are looking for, but look, you still got time to play with, you know, there's still time in this over, so I feel like they definitely can recover from that. I feel like they just need to slow things down and sort of play it sort of pretty standard, not anything too crazy, because I feel like it is getting chaotic on their side a little bit.
Yeah, as we go into the second mid here, some spam getting traded back and forth, but now the soldiers are high. Homer is going to get picked up, and APBC won't find anything. Fane is going to fall to the hands of Lilia, and Air might be able to get picked there. He does. He finds Trash, and now the 1-player ad for Azerbaijan Technology is going to win them the mid. So still commanding for the red team as they pick up the second mid here.
Indeed, however though, both teams do keep the medics alive, so they're just going to be even Ubers here on the second point. And it looks like, I think, yeah, Azerbaijan are gearing up for a sack play here, getting everyone buffed, and I think we're just going to see, doesn't look like anything too crazy. We do see a little bit of a close angle Golden holding on this up, on this pipe area, but now does get spotted here. Oh my god, Jesus has a cross there, but I think he does manage to live without any issues there. But yeah, Azerbaijan, gearing up for a bit of a sack play, trying to make space for their soldiers here, but smyb on the defensive here. But that is actually APVC getting out, so that is a sack play coming out from the side of Azerbaijan there. However, though, how does smyb choose to reply? I think they are just getting bossy and probably just waiting to see what move they can make. And the question is, like I was supposed to say, does APVC want to off-class? I think he's just going to stay soldier here for the moment. But otherwise, I think, yeah, still stalemate. No play coming out from smyb as of yet.
Yeah, Doctrine absolutely stalling any sort of double sack with the sticky trap kill onto APVC. Read him like a book with the sticky set up almost like a full minute before. He's set up some new ones in Al-Qaeda, and I don't know if the red team has seen it. The scout is through, surely does see it, and he does dit, but will not pick up any kills. So it looks like they're going for this sewer pressure cook again. Sort of just seeing what they can get. Slow pushing from Al-Qaeda. Now Homer comes in, tries to go for the same bomb, but Pride hits the nice rocket, and Homer is just going to kill himself onto the mid. APVC tries to salvage something onto Golden, but he will fall, so does Air. And now Fane trying to counter, does get a pick in sewer, so that's 4 down now for the side of Azerbaijan Technology, and they're just going to have to run away and completely give up mid.
Nice rocket by Pride as well, just denying Homer in the air. Homer getting shot and then having to sort of commit on something, just doing a massive U-turn in the air. But otherwise, both meds do live. No forces coming out from either side here, so we do see still even Ubis here. Pride going in, trying to make some space here, and we already do see aggressive play coming out from Fane from that low position, but unfortunately does get cleaned up there, but does actually take down Homer in the process though. So do see a 1-for-1 trade. Trash getting taken down incredibly low, but does also get cleaned up by Air there. And a trade actually coming from both sides on this mid, and Air actually behind, causing a little bit of chaos here, and Doctrine might get taken out in the process. Doctrine does get taken out. So that is 3 plays down on both sides here. Do see a spawner though coming up from the side of Azerbaijan. So point does get taken by smyb, but Air, I think, is still stuck behind, causing a lot of chaos here. Golden being a little bit too deep there, does serve over defense, but does get taken out in the process there. That should be Pride also getting taken out there, so a really, really good salvage coming out from the side of Azerbaijan Technology.
Yeah, really good crunch there. They're absolutely going to eviscerate all of smyb that are stuck in on second. Not going to be able to get the second cap, so Azerbaijan Technology making their way onto mid. And they'll be thinking they might be able to convert this all the way to last. They do have 50% advantage. They have not able to deny any forward spawns, but it's still Uberad. But smyb are just bustling through choke here. They're all through. 5-man through choke, and it's not exactly working out. Golden's going to fall. There's a soldier in the backlines that will also fall, and the only thing they get for it is Air. And they're all just going to die for it. The only one left is Tennis. He's stuck onto the point, trying to cause some shenanigans, maybe delay them as long as possible. But the red team need not occupy themselves with the lone scout on mid. They can go all the way to second there with the rest of the team dead. They can probably stack this and get it. I don't know if Smith will have any time to deny. Lilia is going back and will absolutely diff Tennis onto the point there. So no worries about the scout behind. And now it's full ad into last here.
Yeah, that play, I feel like it's just 5-man sender through choke, trying to see if we can force a play there. And then Golden take out the process, definitely not what you want from the side of smyb, and that's actually affected them pretty badly, because now it's just full Uber dis out essentially almost. And Azerbaijan already working their way into last year, does manage to take out a gun of Fane there, and Lily already trying to get some cap time onto the point there. However, the Doctrine keeping the sticky pressure onto the point there, 60% Uber on the side of smyb here, so they could get the post here. However, Homer does get taken down in the process. That is the first casualty. However, players getting taken down on either side there, but point gets captured by Azerbaijan, and it is 2 rounds up for them. smyb still stuck on 0, and I feel like this is where potentially they need to get a they need to rethink what's happening. I feel like at some point a pause might come out for the side of smyb, just simple attack and calm down everyone and figure out what they want to do. But let's see what they do in this mid here, as we do see a bit of an aggressive play coming out from both sides.
Yeah, as we go into the third mid here, we'll see if smyb can get any sort of change of pace for them. Trash and Air will trade each other. There's a Homer is high into the air. It's just going to land on Doctrine and pick him up and live with his life. So the demo down for the blue team is not going to be able to control any sort of space, any sort of high ground, and it just is another clean mid win for Azerbaijan Technology. And I think they can definitely push into second here, should they choose to do so.
Yeah, these mid fights, the first round went so well for smyb, but now it's just
slowly not going, going their way. And as you say that, taking second, I think they choose just to play it even as we do see both teams just getting a bit of spam onto each other here. So no crazy shenanigans yet. And I think Azerbaijan are now going to look for the sack angle, and they are going for their trusted sewer play again, which has been working out. And I feel like smyb need to find a response to this sort of sewer, because I feel like Azerbaijan, they're gaining a lot of space doing this sort of sack play, coming from this sort of wider angle, which they are looking to commit to, which they have.
Yeah, no sort of pipe shenanigans for smyb. They're not playing on pipe, trying to take an early trade into choke. Maybe their position sort of default. Golden is behind the point. Here comes the high bomb from Homer again. Decides to fade this time, and as APVC decides to come in at the second phase, and Homer's coming in again. One rocket onto Golden, but he will not find anything. So Golden, really good milk, is able to preserve the uber charge for his team, and smyb now, they're trying to pressure choke. Campbell is really close here. My 4, Lily is getting through as well. Pride does fall into the backlines, and Lily is going for more. He picks up trash as well, so both soldiers down for smyb, and they're not even looking to use the Uber to trade anything here. They're just getting forced all the way back to their second again. And Azerbaijan Technology, surely they're going to be pushing this ghost.
Yeah, I feel like also with actually it's about pushing as well. It looks like a trade might be on the cards here on the second point. They're already going in. Sam, no, they actually fake a trade. Really, really smart play. Actually, Golden using the Uber, thinking a trade would come into play, and now full Uber ad coming out from the side of Azerbaijan. I thought they'll take a trade, but that's really, really, really smart move coming out. Trying to fake a trade there, and also trying to make it sort of believable. So as a result, Uber gets popped out on the side of smyb, and now full Uber ad to the side of Azerbaijan, and also round, rounds in their favor, but also the server time dwindling very, very quickly the map time dwindling very, very quickly. And Uber ad though now coming out from the side of Azerbaijan. They are choosing to take this IT position. They're going for the upper IT, and I think they just want to try to get to last as soon as they can.
Yeah, try to last as soon as they can. They for sure want to go up 3-0 here. 2 minutes left, so they probably just are going to cap the point and go 3 up. Not going to sort of concern themselves with any sort of banny win conditions. They have the ball in their court, and they have used through door 2. The Uber comes out, and the gun and the combo are positioned on the right-hand side, though, so they're going to have to take a little bit more time to get anything here. They do find the gun eventually. They're posted on the left-hand side, but they're not playing at the point. There's only 4 stickies on the point. The demo now falls, though. Does Doctrine. He trades for 2 soldiers, and we'll see if the point play comes out. It does now, and Lily absolutely cleans up onto the point, denies any sort of soldier denial. And that is a 3rd round for Azerbaijan Technology. Clean, you'd have to say.
Yeah, a minute 30 on the clock. This is looking super dire for the side of smyb, and I feel like the mental hasn't, not mental's broken for them, but I feel like this is now where it's starting to get, they might be looking just to reset for the second map, but as we said earlier, I feel like win condition for smyb is to win this map process, and I think it is slowly getting out of their grasp as we move into this new mid here.
Yeah, Campbell hitting a nice Cadus rollout is going to buy him some time to aggress the left side here, which looks like that's what the plan is for Azerbaijan Technology on this mid. But Campbell will fall to tennis, so that's not going to spell well for the red team here. They still have some height though, and they're looking to get something before they leave, and they will find something. Pride falls to the hands of APVC, and the blue team is just stuck in sewer here. There's no space for them. APVC is in the back lines. He's trying to cause a ruckus in Al-Qaeda. Somehow he hasn't fallen, but he will find the trade on Fane, so really great salvage play from APVC as Tennis gets absolutely destroyed by Homer. Will trade out with Doctrine, but it is going to be another big win for Azerbaijan Technology.
That almost got a little bit scary for the side of Azerbaijan when they're losing players really quickly there. And then obviously Fane getting out by Soldier Golden, just sort of watching, probably calling the HP there. But now with 15 seconds left on the clock here, there's going to be banning timer coming in. So Azerbaijan just need one more round to take this, while smyb need 4 more rounds. So it's the first to 4 now as a result of banning timer coming in effectively now, as you can see on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. But even Ubers for both sides, both teams didn't lose their medic there during that whole fight. But one thing to know as well is smyb just didn't get any space at all. They were just stuck in sewer for half that mid. They could not get out, and that got a bit scary when the soldier jumped through choke. I feel like they're going to get caught off there, and that could have just spelled disaster for the entire map, potentially.
Yeah, I think Azerbaijan Technology, they're going for something. They put the demo in sewer, maybe to fake sort of another sewer slow play while the rest of the team went IT. They didn't find any kills, but they will find Pride going for something through choke there. Air did fall very quick onto that push, so we'll see if they choose to maybe snipe, maybe some sort of off-class. But we are just settling into another stalemate here. smyb opting to go for this pipe hold again. And this is already a soldier through choke. Homer, unfortunately, is going to land on nothing with Golden staying on pipe. So unfortunate for him, isn't going to find anything. And APVC also will fall to the hands of Doctrine. So 2 picks now for smyb. But we do have a sneaky off-class.
Yeah, air on the spy. Nope. It has been spotted now. Never mind. I was going to say it hasn't been spotted, but after bumping Fane there, I think they're now aware there's a spy. Air is stuck behind a spy. Unfortunately, it's not a whole lot he can really do, but we do see a trade coming out on the side of Azerbaijan and SMYB, both teams trading respectively on this point there. Azerbaijan sort of backing out there slowly, and Air getting taken out in the process as well. We're stuck on behind on that spy class, but Homer getting taken out. So this is actually getting a little bit better. Oh my god, they were trying to go for an air shot there, but otherwise they do get the soldier there. And now I think SMYB, this is the first time they've actually had a little bit of control in this map here, and Air already coming up with the NG. I think Azerbaijan are looking just to plant their players on this last point here, and I feel like a round reset could be on the cards for the side of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, almost even Ubers, but smyb have elected to take this fast. They're already through door 5, and there's a lot of cap time that's pixels away from capping the scout onto the point, but the soldiers come on Pride now. It's even closer. Doctrine is just trying to kill any player on point to get it for his scout, but unfortunately Fane will fall, and now this is spelling the end of the push. So close for smyb, just opting to take that as fast as possible through door 5, but they aren't able to get the first round on the board.
I feel like these paces where they're going quick, I feel like some things aren't working out, especially when you're doing these plays. You need to call what you want to do, and especially look like they want to go for the point play there, but there also needs to be focus fire calls on what they want to shoot at, because I feel like that's what it feels like. There's some disconnection there, I don't know, but otherwise, Samson stays alive during all that chaos, and it is full Uberad for the side of Azerbaijan here. We do see Trash on the sniper here, who has committed so far not finding anything, trying to get a few pot shots out, but yeah, does get forced out of mid there, and Uberad still on the side of Azerbaijan, which they do choose for the double demo sticky through choke there, but do they get anything? Do actually manage to pick up Doctrine, so despite only getting 1 player, but it is a demo, and that is actually a crucial pick for the side of Azerbaijan, which means they are looking, my god, golden.
Golden getting taken down to, I think it was 31 HP, so close to falling, but as you say, Azerbaijan Technology with the demo pick, they want to aggress and they want to cross now as the soldier bombs comes out, as they try and time that with some cap time from, I believe that's Air, but the Uber does save smyb just in time to deny any more point play, and the red team is just going to have to back out here, but with the player picks, I do believe they might be able to hold second here and maybe take an Uberad back into last. And we've seen throughout this match, the full Uberad pushes into last for Azerbaijan Technology have been so much more successful. And they only need 1 more to take this first map.
Yeah, and that was a really nice play. Golden having to use that, otherwise if he just dropped in, it's basically game over. And now full Uberad on the side of Azerbaijan. This could be the final round of the first map here. And we do have Uber coming out on the side of Azerbaijan, going through door 3. Hamble does screw up the demo jump there, but they do manage to spot the gun there. Already getting a little bit of time onto point there. Point getting captured, and that is full 0 for the side of Azerbaijan Technology. And that is map 1 going to them, with them now 1-0 up in the series in match and pole position.
Yeah, just scouts onto the point, and while the whole blue team was kiting to spawn, kiting away from the Uber, they were just able to clear the stickies on point and cap it very clean. So, first map 4-0 for Azerbaijan Technology. It looks so convincing here. And this is not their map pick either. So this was smyb's map pick, and we're now going to go to Azerbaijan's. They might just be able to clean this up with an easy granary win.
As we said earlier, this was basically, prerequisite for SMYB to have a good game. What it needed to win process, but now falling to process, now moving on to granary where they aren't as comfortable. This could be a 2-0 for the side of Azerbaijan Technology, as we now do have the logs up on the screen here. And one thing to note, I just want to point out, is Lily with 32 kills, 306 DPM, and that is the most most in the server.
Yeah, what a stat line. 32 and 6, 5.33 KD, just absolutely carrying on the logs. Another thing I will note is the 4 drops. They did all sort of happen at the very start, so maybe
Yeah.
some playoff nerves getting to both of the teams. But yeah, all 4 of those drops were so consequential. But anyone else that sort of stands out to the logs to you, or any players that maybe don't show up in the logs but had a really impactful game that you can think of?
When you look at the stats that we're seeing on the screen, there, one thing to note is, like, despite it being a 4-0 and it looked very, very, Azerbaijan, I think like it wasn't as one-sided. Like, it was pretty close overall. I'm not sure what happened though. Once the first bit finished, I feel like smyb just sort of lost all sort of momentum going into this game, and I feel like they need to reset definitely on Granary coming into our next map here. But one thing to note as well is I feel like smyb, they didn't play poorly personally. I feel like the main thing that I feel like they were struggling with, I feel like some of the focus fire as well on their sort of department. Like, no one had like under 200 DPM. Everyone was sort of doing what they needed to do. But I feel like just the aggression, especially on the flank there, Trash and Pride as well, getting sort of rushed at. Mainly Trash on that flank, especially by the side of Azerbaijan. That's probably where they were falling apart, but especially the sewer plays as well coming out from Azerbaijan. They're gaining a lot of space on that sort of part of the map, especially going for the sack plays. I also do want to highlight, I guess, Homer and APVs on the side of Azerbaijan. Some of the sacks they were doing really, really well, especially with some of their high bombs. A really, really good coordination play coming out by both of them.
Yeah, I agree. The double sacks from Azerbaijan Technology just always looked a little bit more threatening, a little bit more lethal, you could say, than the counter sacks from smyb. As we are just booking another server, I believe the players actually had no resup for that game, neither team.
That's awkward.
So a little bit of a, I mean, that's pretty big, the banny bind in today's meta. So maybe that plays a part. We are just rebooking a server, trying to get all 12 players back in. But we'll cast our eyes to the second map here, Granary. As you say, this is Azerbaijan Technology's map pick, and it's a bit of a tactical map pick because smyb did not play this during the regular season with the bye. What are your thoughts for Granary?
Look, as I said, I think it's do or die for SMY. They need to show up on Grand. This is one of the maps I feel like they are They didn't play it during the regular season, yes, but now not winning process, I feel like they need to just lock back in, but also need to refresh and figure out what they want to do. They were, figuring out this map earlier, even prior to this this game, and I think this is what's going to come in, is just the rollout I said earlier, just who could get to mid the fastest, because the side of Azerbaijan have things worked out in Granary, and I feel like it's one of their maps where they actually quite enjoy playing. But then the side of smyb, they let it slip. They were happy to play this map. I feel like they left it in. But they have Thane, and I feel like Thane has definitely given them some things that they can do on the mids and try to get creative. So I can see why they can, leave it in and play it. But now smyb in do or die territory, they need to pick up Granary and then force Snakewater. But yeah, it's now an uphill battle, I think, for smyb. Azerbaijan now have basically full control. They've won their map. They've won smyb's map pick. Now moving on to Grand, where a map where smyb, I feel like, just aren't as comfortable, to be honest.
Yeah, as you say, this is do or die. This is the elimination final in ozfortress Season 44, Prem Division, the highest division that we have in Australia. The loser is out for the rest of the season, and the winner will go on to play someone. Yet to be seen, I believe, in the next round of the AFL bracket. Again, we are just waiting for 12 into the new server. Hopefully the reset works in this one, but yeah.
I mean,
what else is there to talk about?
I'm still looking at the logs here as well, just from process, and like no one. I don't think smyb had a bad game. I think it's just more they just need to reset and figure out what they want to do. But the main thing was their pace changes, and especially playing really quickly. I think that's sort of what screwed them over, I feel like, personally. But they need to figure out a counter to the amount of space Azerbaijan's getting. I think that's the main thing, is especially on process, where Azerbaijan are just edging their way onto second, going through sewer there. I think they need to figure out how to counter that sort of play, I think.
Yeah, I agree. They're definitely going to have to change something if they want to get back into this match. I think the mids as well, they just look so convincing for Azerbaijan. There was even one of them where Campbell died pretty early into the mid, but the entirety of smid were just stuck in sewer. So even with the all-important demo pick, they weren't able to win the mid eventually, and they're just stuck on their own second, it seemed like, perpetually.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, Granary, a bit of a different mid. I do
Definitely.
believe the process mid was actually based off Granary. I think it was... Creative for Process based the mid off Granary, the second off Badlands, and the last off Well. But you know, in today's game, they are very different maps and very different mids. But hopefully, for smib's case, this will advantage them more.
I mean, I do want to see as well the rollouts. I think Azerbaijan, I know for a fact they like to take that Gary rollout position, rollout through Gary sometimes. But I do want to see, you know, how smyb take it. Do they choose to go to the standard def corner rollout, or do they choose to go through Gary? But the one thing on Granary is the high ground control is super important, especially having your scouts play on crate, or having some sort of aggression on the height, some sort of spam. But also now this is where we can see, you know, the soldier duos of both sides, Pride and Trash, but mainly I guess APVC and Homer, see what they can cook up on the map like Grand, where this map, I feel like, is probably one of their better maps, especially for their soldiers.
Yeah, absolutely. Granary is such a strong soldier map, so we'll see if APVC and Homer, with such a tight coordination, can get anything more on this map. Maybe clean it up very quickly. Who knows? This might be a short night for all the gamers in the server. As again, we are just waiting. We do have 12 in the server, but they're all sort of resetting. Maybe getting some water, maybe going to the toilet, maybe having some team talks for the side of smib. They might need it.
I mean, I feel like smyb just, yeah, they need to reset, they need to discuss what they want to do. They need to figure out how they want to approach these mids. I think Fane also needs to... I think Fane probably is going to be giving them advice on what they can do and what they should. And having a super experience like Fane on Flank Scout is, I feel like, such a privilege as well for a side like smyb, where most of these players, I think mainly, well, Tennis I think is like first season Prem, but most of these players aren't like, you know, super high or in that sort of Prem area. Fane definitely can give some advice and figure out, you know, some plays they can do on a map like Granary here. Obviously, we are just waiting for ready ups to come out from both sides here, but yeah, I mean, I think smyb, they need to either just play simply straight back to the basics and just not, you know, spot your off class and everything. I feel like that's what process where sometimes went wrong, was them just going quick, maybe not gathering enough information, where sometimes they could have just hold and get, you know, buff players. But otherwise, yeah, it's do or die for smyb. I think Azerbaijan, Granary, and especially smyb haven't played during regular season. I think it's favoring more towards Azerbaijan, in my opinion, to take this, but overall, I think the entire series potentially.
Yeah, agreed. It just looks so convincing on process. As we are just a few seconds away from starting, I guess we'll go into predictions really quick. Ghost, what are your final score predictions for the Granary game?
I mean, despite smyb, they didn't play during the regular season. I feel like it might be similar scoreline to what we saw in Grand, in that sort of slower pace, you know, 4-0, 3-0 type of scoreline. But I think I'm leaning towards maybe, I'd say 4-1 for Azerbaijan.
Oh, you stole my prediction. I was also going to say 4-1. Yeah, I mean, you can't really pick anyone. You'd have to say Azerbaijan is the clear pick for the predictions at least, but we will see. smib do have to win this map if they want to have a fighting chance in Prem, really, even in this match. This is do or die now for smib, but it is, as we say, Azerbaijan's map pick, so we'll see if smib can get any sort of pace change, any sort of momentum shift. We'll see if they can certainly win this first mid here, as Doctrine has opted to roll out through DC, gets the pack, and Campbell has decided to go through Gary. So an asymmetrical mid here. The scouts, both of them for both teams, are just on high ground. Samson has opted to roll out through Cat, so he is also on the high ground, as Homer's just landed on the lamp there, as Campbell gets taken out by Trash. So really good pick for the side of smib. But Samson will also fall, and so does Golden. It's a bit of a 2v2 MGE here, as Doctrine is stuck in the corner, will fall to Lilia, and Lilia getting some nice damage also onto, I believe that is Tennis, and Tennis on 51 HP. He will certainly be trying to fight this. Homer picks up the pack though on 200 HP. Tennis down to 36, and he is just going to have to play for time. Tries to pick up the other pack, and this is a very long 1v1 to sort of end this mid, as the rest of the teams have spawned and are rolling out, but Tennis on the high ground will end up winning the 1v1 here and probably the mid for the rest of his team.
Very, very scrappy start for both sides here, with both teams losing their medics and also most of the team tennis managed to clean up in the process. But as you said, another mid fight has come out into play here, with the point still yet to really be captured here. We do see both teams choosing to re-enter the mid point, and we do see a little bit of aggression coming from the side of smyb. Fane taking out Samson actually, so that is the med down on the side of Azerbaijan, and that's actually making the side of smyb play a little bit around their medic, which they are, but Lily getting behind it, but does get taken out of the process, so that is Lily Golden getting saved, which is really lucky, and we do see ABUT still alive here, and Homer as well, causing a little bit of chaos on this mid, staying in for a little bit longer, but Uberad on the side of smyb nevertheless, but mid point going to the side of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, this is one of the longest mid fights I've ever seen, and we might actually get a third act here. Azerbaijan Technology getting the space and getting the kills, but not getting the medic, as Samson dies pretty quick to a Fane just coming into the side there, unspotted almost, just picks him up. So with the Uberad, the blue team smyb will certainly be trying to push into mid here. The cap does fall for Azerbaijan Technology, but they are going to have to go for something or back out here as the aggression has come. The flank is in for smyb, but it seems like no one else is. Maybe slightly mistimed. They've just used through Gary now. Homer picks up Pride on the other side of the map, but the blue team has gone so deep with this Uber all the way to DC. They won't find anything, but they will claim a lot of space. One down for each team, and I don't think Azerbaijan Technology will opt for any sort of repush as the mid now falls for smyb.
I mean, Uberad coming out from Azerbaijan Technology, so at least they do keep their men alive. They only lose Homer in the process, which isn't, you know, not a big deal, to be honest. You just lost a soldier. At least it wasn't a demo or someone. However, though, Uberad, they do keep the Uber, they don't need to use here, and now probably just looking to retake midpoint here. But they are a little bit further back here, so this might actually just equalize. So they're just waiting for players. I think they're just going to play a little bit more cautiously. Is definitely what I think they're doing. Yeah, clearing out all the little nooks and crannies on this map here, but now looking to go through Gary by looks of things.
Yeah, I think they were expecting some sort of resistance on Yard there, but the blue team had backed all the way out. They've used through Gary, but the counter Uber is coming out for Trash, picking up APVC with the spoon there while the Ubers are traded on mid. It looks a little bit better for the blue team, though. They're able to use later and get one more pick for it. The demo down for Azerbaijan Technology is not going to make their lives any easier, as it looks like smyb are rotating to DC here, and they don't think they're going to get much resistance in Yard, at least. They might be able to find something as they push into second here, Ghost.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are just even for Ubers here, and otherwise, yeah, second already getting capped by the side of smyb, but a little bit of aggression coming out from the side of Azerbaijan, yeah, but Golden getting taken out, just run out by Air, who just stuck in between those three players. Golden just getting literally three-shot there, but Samson gets clean up the process. This has actually gone super scrappy for both sides here, and we already do see the last point getting captured from the side of smyb, but that is the last point, and first round going to smyb, so well responded, and I feel like they needed that, you know, first round to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the first round win in the series for smyb, and as you say, getting off the mark will do wonders for their team, you would hope, as they need to win this map. They are up 1-0. It just seemed like both medics fell immediately, and in the carnage, it ended up being better for smyb, and they're able to win the 1v1 against the soldier and cap the last point as we go into the second mid here. Both demos this time opting to go through Cat, both demos opting to drop down and get the pack, as we will see both soldiers are high as well for both teams. Fane and Trash fall, but Trash will trade out with Lilia. APVC just jumping onto Cat here, just trying to scope out what is going on. But the health, for smyb are so low, and they're just going to have to back out here onto Yard.
Yeah, the health not looking too good, but I feel like as well, the bombs, I feel like for smyb are looking actually, you know, pretty decent. I remember speaking to them earlier as well, they were having issues with, I feel like people bombing different targets potentially, or just some, you know, just some mistakes that were happening on the map like Granary, but it looks like it is tied up a bit, especially that first mid. Both still just committing onto Campbell and him just getting taken out instantly there. But it is even Ubers here. Both teams do keep their MNX alive here, and we do just see pretty standard hold with the flank watching this wide to the Yard. So Gary towards this Yard to the angle, and then we do have just Doctrine holding down Gary and Pocket sort of watching DC here. So nothing too crazy here now. It is Azerbaijan's call to see how they want to bust out, and we always see a Air getting baited in by the soldier there, so Scout into Trash there, so really nice play coming out from smyb.
Yeah, good plays from smyb. They are up 1-0 the first time in the series they have led the round score, so they will certainly be feeling good about themselves as they're setting up for another stalemate here. No off-class for Air, spawning just back onto the scout, so we'll see if the double soldier sacks for Azerbaijan Technology that were working so well on crosses come out again here on Granary. But this is certainly a harder, point to double sack into than crosses, you have to say.
Not the easiest point to sack through, definitely. I mean, you have a big ramp to surf off, but I feel like Azerbaijan need to make some sort of move, and I feel like maybe an off-class, and they are trying to go through this flank play here, which they are. They do take down Trash in the process, so they do manage to actually get a pick as a result of that sort of play, but they do lose actually both 2 plays in the process, so that isn't what you want to see from the side of Azerbaijan, and I think they are just going to have to back out. They are backing out a little bit from sort of Gary position, and I feel like a trade is on the car. Bit of a miscom actually coming from Azerbaijan. Lily want to go for a trade there. Uber gets popped out on the side of Azerbaijan, but they do drop a scout there, so not the most ideal Uber, and is actually favored a little bit better for the side of smyb as they are getting space on this midpoint.
Yeah, smyb have so much high ground here. APVC is going to find Fane, so that is an important pick. Getting the scout off the high ground. Homer is trying to go for something now with that advantage. He will not find anything. He will just fall to Pride. Lily now with the high ground is going to clean up Pride, is going to help to clean up Doctrine as well. And it is just Golden and Tennis alive. They are trying to fight in DC, but they're not getting any respite. So much damage. 179 takes out Tennis, and now it's just Golden alive. And they're just pitting the medic, taking their time to try and get the later spawn. And really clinical refight for Azerbaijan.
Yeah, I feel like despite the mistake happening, Lily, I think you saw as well, was trying to go for a trade there, and then Samson already backed out, so probably maybe a miscomm of some sort there. But now, Golden delaying his death by really long time. Actually, this has favored Azerbaijan with basically full Uber, and we do see a double off class, we do see Tennis on the heavy, Fane on the NG, and Uber does get popped down the side of Azerbaijan from that bottom left side.
Yeah, they're coming in here with the full Uber, but Campbell dies very quickly. I don't know if that was traps on point, but he is out of the fight, so it's going to make it a lot harder. Doctrine does fall though, so no stickies onto the point, but with 3 picks, smyb are just able to hold this, and that is going to dispel any sort of cap for Azerbaijan Technology. They were close with the cap time, but not able to convert. And as Lilia falls in up top, I don't know if smyb, yes, they are opting to push out here, so no scouts alive for the red team. It's going to make it a lot easier for smyb as they will find the second cap and push out of their own last. But I don't know if this will be any further. Even Ubers for both teams.
Yeah, even Ubers for both teams here, and unfortunately Campbell getting taken out in the process, but we do see double commit from the flank there. That is Fane getting out, but Trash managed to get a trade onto Homer there, and we do see a flank play coming out from the side of smyb. Going a little bit quick here, we do have Uber on the side of Golden here, but they are still committing Gary, but looks like they are slowed down, so trying to go for the faster wrap play here. Doctrine joining up with Tennis here as well, and they are getting grounded a bit, but this might just turn into a trade here. Uber coming up on both sides here. Do you see a trade play coming out from both sides here? Uber does get popped on the side of smyb and at the same time for the side of Azerbaijan here, but Trash getting another spoon onto Homer. They're smacking him with a shovel to the head there, but Uber's fade on both sides here, and it is favored a little bit better with Homer getting taken out during all that sort of exchanging.
Yeah, Trash with the spoon picks up Homer. As you say, I believe that's the second one on Granary already, and that is going to spell the midpoint win for smyb. They are trying to aggress now with the player pick, just sort of pressure cook Gary, maybe try and see what they can find. Yeah, down to 85 HP, is now going to pick up Fane, so Fane not able to get anything, and he picks up Trash as well. So 2 picks on the flank for Azerbaijan Technology, and smyb are just going to have to back out to mid here. We'll see if Azerbaijan Technology choose to repush this. And it looks like they are. They're going up to Cat. Both scouts on high ground with the medic, and there's just like no resistance really for smyb. They're already back out to second here.
I think Uber's just going to even out anyway, regardless. They are coming with Uber shortly for the side of smyb, so regardless though, whenever Azerbaijan chooses to push, I think it's just going to turn to a trade angle with smyb already setting up traps outside this Gary position there. Does stop the scout trying to peek in a little bit, but otherwise, yeah, both teams just choosing to hold for now. Pride getting tagged incredibly low, but Air does get cleaned up on 8 HP there, so that is Air getting taken out, but does Air choose to come off for off-class? Because I know sniping definitely gets some good angles through Gary. It is a bit hard to sack, obviously, as a soldier. So the question is, does Air choose to play a off-class here? He does choose to remain on the scout, so no off-class for the moment to break this stalemate here. But good news is SMYB is 1 round up, so at least they do have something playing for them.
Yeah, 1 round up as they do find tennis falls, sorry, to Campbell, but the Uber has been used. So with that distraction, Homer was able to get through DC, and Golden is going to have to use, and they're trying to get something with the Uber, trying to get some sort of salvage play, but they won't find anything. Azerbaijan Technology already out to mid and claiming the high ground, so they're not able to get anything, smyb. And now with the full disset, they're just having to back out here, maybe try go for some plays on the flank. Both soldiers sort of a bit forward, trying to see what they can get, just throwing some rockets their way, but they're not going to find anything. A nice clinical push from Azerbaijan, checking every corner, and they've made their way already to Shutter. It's still 40 ad, and they might be able to convert this into their first round here on Granary. They're trying to inch the point, but the double spam from Pride and Trash picks up Lily. That's the combo scout down for Azerbaijan. It's going to make it certainly a lot harder. Air might also fall, but APVC does instead. Homer will find Trash though in Lunchbox, and another one falls. That's Homer. Pride picking him up is going to make it a lot easier for smyb to hold this with 3-player ad, and I think we might just be able to settle, or will we? They're already pushing out a second here with the player ad, just forcing Azerbaijan Technology all the way to mid. Doctrine wants more. He's jumping through with the crouch there. Gets a pipe onto the enemy demo, but not much more. He's just gearing his way back to Gary, and I think after all of that, we might just end up with another stalemate here.
Yeah, Azerbaijan, I feel like wanting to sort of go aggressive again through Gary, but looks like they are just going to play a stalemate, play the even Uber situation here, and yeah, Doctrine getting the standing traps just outside Gary here. We do see a little bit of spam coming out from Doctrine there through Gary, but otherwise, it's nothing too crazy. Both teams just doing their sort of standard holds here. These sort of... Oh, actually, as I said, though, already some pressure coming from Def Corner there. Homer does get taken out, and actually Air as well, so 2 plays taken out, but Pride also getting taken out in the process. So that is a play down going to the side of SMYB, 2 plays down going to the side of Azerbaijan here. However, though, SMYB do choose just to hold and stay in this sort of yard position there. I think they are just going to play... they aren't going to respond off that off the 2 plays down on the side of... Azerbaijan here, so they are just going to stay on the second point here and no off class yet for either side.
Yeah, we're already down to 1 minute on the round timer, so smyb can elect to just go for a round reset here. There's 11 and a half minutes left on the banning timer, so after that we will go to banning time, but the soldiers are jumping in, and Golden is bisected away from the rest of his team, and is just going to have to force onto the scout and clean up both soldiers, so a 4-man sack it ends up being really for Azerbaijan, but they do find the force, and they're just hoping to get these spawners up, and with the Uber ad might be able to retake mid here.
Yeah, I mean, they lose 4 players, but they do manage to get the Uber Force. It's okay. Obviously, they lose half a team, they do back up, but they now have Uber ad on the side of Azerbaijan. So the question is, how do they choose to retake this mid? I think they're just going to wait for spawners here. Already getting position in this catwalk position here. I think they are just going to commit for this sort of catwalk push. Samson getting forced down a little bit, having to force the Uber there. So nice force coming out from the side of Trash there, from the side of SYB, being stuck behind now. Does actually use to take down Air in the process. So it does manage to actually get 2 for that as well. So really, really good play coming out from the side of SMYB. And Uber ad, actually full Uber ad coming out from SMYB. So good force play coming out from Trash there, I must say.
Yeah, now the shoe is on the other foot. It's smyb with the turn to take the full Uber ad into mid here. They elect to go through Gary into the right side. They are going to have to use pretty early. Surely they'll find Homer here on the pack. No, Fane gets picked by Homer. So Homer living onto the pack there as the post now happens onto mid. But there are some players ahead. Trash picking up Homer and getting the taunt kill as APVC jumps in but gets demolished by Pride. Not able to get the taunting soldier there. As it looks like at the end of all of that, smyb end up taking the midpoint.
Yeah, SMYB do manage to take mid there, and however though, Uber ad in the favor of Azerbaijan, but it's the same thing where Azerbaijan need to figure out a reply to some of these trades that are happening, but there hasn't been... I think Azerbaijan have only gone 1 time until last, but otherwise it's just been... I feel like SMYB look like they have some sort of control in this map here. Homer staying open in this yard position, trying to spam out the combo of SMYB from this Def Corner position there, and however though, a force actually on the side of Azerbaijan there, and another force coming out by Trash there, so really, really heroic plays coming out by Trash here.
Yeah, really massive, as the demo did fall for Azerbaijan. It looked like they wanted to take a double scout through Garage, but air gets dropped while the Uber gets used, so a disastrous push for Azerbaijan. The Soldier's trying to stuff them here. That's Homer. He will fall, and an APVC is just going to have to rocket jump away with his life, as that is a full Uber ride for smyb. They're trying to take their second round here and try and win this map. They have to win this map if they want to stay in with a fighting chance in Prem playoffs. They're able to get the second point, and they're certainly gearing to go as they come through the left side here. The Uber does get used. Campbell is kind of isolated, but will catch an arrow to save his life, as the reset bind certainly is working. That's going to be good for him. But there's so much time on the point. They're all just kiting in spawn, and the cap gets down for smyb. They're up 2-0 already.
2-0. Really, really good reply coming from smyb on Granary on the pick of Azerbaijan. We thought that, you know, Azerbaijan have Granary, they should be able to close out 2-0, but smyb are replying really well with these 2 rounds here. So something has, I feel like definitely sort of practice they've had and sort of, you know, before the official going over Granary, it's definitely sort of paid off by the looks of things. But new mid now, can Azerbaijan reply, and they are going for this Gary play again. However, no real space taken from the side of Azerbaijan, but double soldier bomb coming out by them already, and that is Golden getting taken out. So that is the mid on the side of smyb getting taken out, but everyone falls on the side of Azerbaijan in the process. So yeah, I mean, you get the mid of Golden, but you lose Samson actually a little bit later, and it actually will be a little bit of ad, I say, for the side of smyb if Golden can get time to heal. But ad is actually crits ad for the side of smyb.
Yeah, smyb maybe feeling it, trying to play a little bit differently. They're going to have a bit of crits ad, as you say, and we'll see if they can use it. Just really nice stickies from Doctrine at the start of the mid there, just shut down both of the scouts for Azerbaijan and able to end up winning the mid for his team. Lily does fall, but he trades with Trash, so there is some action going on in Lunchbox as the blue team has pushed their way already through Shutter here. They're going to have to back off, though, with Bane falling. Campbell trying to claim some space for the red team and try and defend the second point here. Pride is still in second, but he will fall to Campbell, not able to secure the pick onto Samson. But the crits now is coming up very shortly for smyb, and we'll see if they want to use it now or maybe try and bait the red team in.
I think they are going to bait, yeah, Doctrine getting around for the crits. The crits get popped on and do, but yeah, I guess crits is a bit neutralized. Golden already hardtailing out through Gary there, and yeah, the crits unfortunately doesn't manage to pick up anything there. Golden stuck on crit, but that's actually Samson getting taken out again. Trash taking out Samson, so Trash already doing God's work on this map, getting forces onto side Azerbaijan, but player advantage though in favor of Azerbaijan there. They do, smyb do lose 3 in the process, but Golden manages to stay alive, but stuck on crits though, so I feel like Azerbaijan are definitely aware that crits is in play as a result of that.
Yeah, Homer going high, trying to get the pick onto Golden. Golden will down to single digits, I think that was, but will live in DC. Some pipes getting thrown out from him. Campbell is trying to pick him up, but he will fall himself along with Lily. So the midpoint going the way of smyb, and as you say, they are stuck on crits, but this time there will not be an Uber at the same time for Azerbaijan, so they might be able to get something with it this time. Doctrine certainly is trying to redeem himself on this crits. They have it ready now while the enemy team is on 40%, and they're already pushing on to second here. I don't think they're going to have much resistance either. They might be able to take this crits into last.
Yeah, I mean, crits wise, I think best option is they might, they have a sniper as well, so I think they are looking to go, looks like they all want to go from this catwalk position here for this crits, so they are going for the high grounds to play here. So Doctrine leading the charge with his crits. Does he go for catwalk or does he go for the window? Does choose to go for the window, trying to get some damage on 2 players. An APVC does get taken out by the crits there, but that looks like the only casualty so far. Campbell getting taken out in the process. Pride getting taken out as well. Actually, Doctor getting 1 more crit onto Lilia here. And this is player advantage for the side of smyb and make that 3-0. smyb recovering from their disaster game on process here. Now, smyb, I think we're going to be seeing a back 3 after this, as a result of this, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like a complete inverse of the previous map. smyb looking so convincing and able to just demolish them with crits there on the high ground. Doctrine getting 1 pick early and getting another right at the death with the last crit sticky. And that is going to be 3 rounds up for smyb. I think that's 5 minutes left on the banny time, so 5 more minutes before regulation ends. Both soldiers are high for both teams. Trash is falling onto the medic. It does find him in DC as everyone is falling. Golden falls on the other side of things. It's currently a 3v3. Lily is trying to pick up someone in the air there, but Tennis and Air battling it out. Tennis will find Campbell, air falls the Doctrine, and now it is just Lily on 3 HP. Surely is going to get picked up by Fane, and he does. So another mid win for smyb.
Yeah, a scrappy mid win this time, but otherwise, yeah, another mid win for SMYB. Both teams do lose the medics, but I think both teams actually get the mid spawn at the same time here. So practically pretty much even Ubers here. Looks like Azerbaijan are choosing to go a little bit aggressive into this scary position. They are getting a little bit of ground, and I think they are choosing to hold yard, sorry, not Gary, but hold this yard position here. SMYB on the pause here, waiting in Gary here, and it looks like, yeah. Oh, actually, as I said, they actually are getting a bit of space here. APVC does get taken out, so already a bit of aggression coming out from the soldiers of SMYB, and that's already another play. Sorry, Fane and Pride, sorry, and that's actually crits as well. Oh, yeah, crits actually on the side of the Doctrine there, who does manage to get 2 plays as a result of that, and that is the second point game captured for the side of SMYB here, but Uber coming up shortly for the side of Azerbaijan. I think Samson might.
Oh, he might not get it. No, they baited it perfectly. The disconnect from Samson, and I believe that was Air or Lily, just not able to get Uber in time. They were just a few % away, but smyb playing that perfectly and getting the point cap before they can deny with Uber.
4-0 match. Sorry, map point for the side of SMYB, and now map 3. I think most likely is definitely now on the cards here for SMYB. They managed to crawl back on Granary, and this is definitely what they needed after that process game here. But could be the final mid of this map that we want to see.
Yeah, as you say, smyb only need to win 1 more, but that is not going to be a good start as Doctrine falls. Trash is high in the air and will trade and get the other Demo Man. Samson has fallen on the other side of things, but Golden is still alive. Trash surely will fall here to the hands of APVC. He does. Homer trying to go for a salvage play. Nice work onto Tennis. Can he get 1 more onto the medic? He does. Salvaging the mid for Azerbaijan Technology. If they want any chance of winning this, they really need to win that mid, and they have.
Yeah, late spawn as well for Golden, so already a little good amount of ad coming up from the side of Azerbaijan. And we do actually have Trash actually choosing to come up on the spy. I think it was just checking off classes or mediguns here, so no commitment there. But a really, really good amount of Uber built for the side of Azerbaijan here. So I'm curious to see where they choose to play this Uber here. We do see a bit of a yard setup for the side of SMYB, so choosing to hold this space for the time being. But this Uber, I think, has come... This Uber, I feel like Azerbaijan might actually just take this. They might catch the side of SMYB off guard, potentially.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they know that Golden got a later spawn, as you say, so it is Uber advantage for Azerbaijan Technology, and I think they are gearing to go. The red team, they're trying to get through, and they just opt to use through, trying to get E-picks as they can. Absolute nuke from Campbell. That pipe picking up 2. He might get a 3rd as well. The scout trying to leave through Shutter will just get out, picks up a bow on the way out, so really good bow from Golden Terrestrial. But this is the second point, and Doctrine is also going to fall, and it's 4 down now for smyb, so Azerbaijan Technology, they will absolutely be trying to win this first round for them here. The Uber is going to come out. They are going to try and deny this for as long as possible to try and get the spawners up, and they might actually have a good go as APVC and Air do fall, and the red team just have to back out. smyb defending their last point here.
Yeah, SMYB holding on for dear life, but Uber ad on the side of Azerbaijan, so they can go again for this last push, just waiting for the soldiers to spawn on APVC and Homer. Pride getting tagged incredibly low, does manage to live, and we do have Tennis coming up on the NG here, so SMYB preparing for a push from the side of Azerbaijan, which I think is going to come in relatively shortly here. The question is, do they choose to go through the shutter, which they do choose to go from the bottom right shutter here, but we do see a bit of a bomb coming out from the side of Azerbaijan. Campbell does go forward there, does actually Pride getting taken out already, Trash getting taken out, so players actually going down for the side of SMYB, and that is the first round on the board for the side of Azerbaijan. And now with banning timer in effect, it's backs against the wall for Azerbaijan. They do have 4 more rounds to crawl back if they do want to make a miraculous comeback, but it is, I think, yeah, SMYB are in map point here, so they just need 1 more round to close it out. But Azerbaijan, 1 round on the board finally in sort of dead time almost, or banning timer, so can they get another few more rounds, potentially, who knows, even comeback play.
Yeah, it would be quite the comeback. First one to 5, as you say, will win this second map here. There's a soldier on Golden. He misses a few rockets, but he will find it right at the death, picking up Golden Terrestrial. It's just Samson and Lily no longer. Actually, Lily falls, and Samson surely will fall here. And Garage looking so convincing for smyb. And another mid win for smyb. They just might be able to win this. They only need one more round. As you say, first to 5 will take this map. If smyb win, we will go to a deciding map. If Azerbaijan win, if they somehow get 4 more rounds, they will end up taking this entire series.
Yeah, and as well, crits add again. So this crits actually, to be honest, has been working for the side of smyb. So we do choose to go for it again, and then basically, yeah, they do have a pretty good amount of ads. Azerbaijan obviously aren't aware of it yet. I don't know if they do suspect it at all, but that is actually Trash getting taken out in the process there, and actually. Pride as well getting taken out, and Fane falling as well, so players going down to the side of smyb here, and Tennis now getting stuck behind, so everyone very, very split, and we do have a pause on our screen, so obviously just going to wait and figure out what the pause is, but yeah, the crits play definitely working out really well for the side of smyb. Doctrine getting some good picks with it, but now, as you can see, everyone really split up. We got Tennis stuck behind here. We do have players down on the side of smyb. I think Trash is about to get spawned from what I recall, but everyone is quite split. At least Golden is playing with Doctrine there, backing into Gary, but obviously we're just going to wait and figure out what the go-ahead is and what this pause is, whether it's a tech or tech pause of some sort.
Yeah, just settling into another pause here, or the first pause, sorry, for the match. This crits, as you say, it has been working really well, but they really haven't set themselves up for success here. Stuck on almost full crits here, but the rest of the team has just died, including their combo scout. The last scout alive is stuck behind, so it would have to be a miracle from Doctrine if they wanted to pull this off really quickly, but I think just based on their positioning, probably just going to back up, try and get some spawners, and then reuse this crits in, hopefully before Azerbaijan Technology get the Uber up. We don't want to see a replay of that first crits that just went disastrously for smyb. But yeah, we'll see what the reason for the pause is. Again, happens 90 seconds into the future, so could be a round win, could be a tactical, could be a technical pause. We're not too sure just yet. But smyb looking really good on the second map.
Yeah, and I feel like as well, one other thing to note is I think Samson, by the time we unpause, I feel like he should get Uber in time. Obviously, we are just waiting for a update regarding what the pause is for. I'm going to be guessing a tech pause likely is probably the reason behind it. But otherwise, yeah, I think Azerbaijan, Samson should get Uber in time. Should get Uber in time once this crits gets up. But yeah, as you said, everyone's quite split up on the side of smyb. So they don't have great positioning for this crits once this unpause comes out, but yeah, obviously we're just waiting for the to figure out what the pause is for, I guess.
Yeah, just settling in here. I think I agree. It's probably a technical pause, probably too long for a tactical at this point. But it's just such a momentum shift, this map. It looks so easy for smyb. It's like how easy it was for Azerbaijan on process, really. Azerbaijan would have to do a monumental comeback, sort of like a TCM versus Immunity from, gosh, that was probably like more than a decade ago now. But I guess it's on Granary as well, a 5-4 comeback. But if smyb win this again, we will go to a decider. I believe that is Snakewater to decide this elimination final. Correct, in ozfortress Season 44. But if Azerbaijan somehow win this, that's it. The series is over.
Yeah, I think we're just waiting for the reason for the pause to come out here. I think we're just waiting to figure out, see what the go ahead is. I don't think we have our producers in Discord with us, so it's just me and you. Oh, I've just got an update. Discord is gone down, apparently. Right.
Oh.
So, yeah, you probably definitely will need, definitely need some sort of communication. You don't want to be talking in game. I need to check if I have Mumble installed.
Yeah, I was gonna say I gotta install Mumble right now.
Yeah, wonderful. So update is Discord has apparently gone down.
I think the internet's crashing again. This has happened. It was like 2 weeks ago. Everything went down. Like AWS went down.
Do I have Mumble?
Or Cloudflare? Yeah.
Let me check. Is this? No, that's not Mumble. I don't think I've got. Wait, I need to. I'm texting Mitch in the in our chat. I said, "What's the Mumble details?" Because I actually don't even have this Mumble. This is wonderful.
Well, I do want.
Sorry,
If Discord
guys,
is down, but we're still coming through on the cast.
Yeah,
So.
we're just having some tech issues.
Huh.
Oh. Okay, so we're fine. Wait. Okay, so update. Okay, update is I think we're okay by the looks of things. But the game has been caused because Discord apparently they're having some Discord issues. So there is a bit of
Yeah.
I think that's the reason of the pause. Is there's just some comms issues happening on the side for on their end there, and looks like we are getting reports of Discord dying for some people as well. We're just waiting to figure out to see what the plan is, but for the time being, I'm just seeing. We probably should. We're just waiting for some updates, but yeah. For those anyone joining us now, Discord is the reason of the pause. Not too sure if we will be going to a break or not, but yeah, Discord is having some issues, and therefore the gamers have paused the game. As a result, we are just waiting for. We are just waiting for a resolution for this issue on hand, basically. So,
Yeah.
Oh, Discord is alive, apparently. Oh. I think. Okay. Update is Discord apparently is alive now. We're just waiting to figure out what is going on with the gamers, if they have any sort of communication devices here. Yeah, I think overall we're having a very close game. I mean, there's not. I don't know if there's much more to talk about, but otherwise, anyone who is joining us now, obviously there is a pause due to a tech issue with Discord servers, I believe. SMYB currently in the lead for Azerbaijan 1 round, and Azerbaijan need 4 more rounds in order to win. As it is banning timer, they do require 5 rounds. SMYB just need the 1 to take this map and go to map 3, which will be Stinkwater.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's just looking so convincing for smyb. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up winning this in the end. It's a Herculean task for Azerbaijan to come back, and it certainly would be a grueling one. But we might just throw to a break here, guys.
Wait.
Oh, or not. Perfect. All right, I think we're back. The pause has finished. The gamers are back. I think Discord is back online. So we can game again as Tennis does fall immediately to air. I think that was Tennis stuck behind. So he is going to fall, but remember we do have the crits up for smyb. I don't think they can use it on the dot. They can't catch Azerbaijan with their pants down without the Uber. So instead they're just going to have to try and catch them by surprise instead. Or try and use it for the post. It is stuck on crits again for smyb. It didn't work out well for them last time, but we'll see if they can do something here. Doctrine is gearing to go through DC, trying to see if he can get something. They do use it, throws a sticky towards Gary, but they're not going to get anything, and the Uber just gets popped immediately for Campbell. Distract himself with the scout behind, so not going to catch the combo, as it looks like Golden and Doctrine are able to get out. Once again, they're sort of just settling in on mid here. And with the trade of each Uber charge, or the crits in the Uber, if they build this correctly, smyb might have a crits out again.
Yeah, I mean, this crit's unfortunately not favoring for the side of SMYB here, and already Azerbaijan trying to take a little bit of ground onto this midpoint, which they have already. SMYB actually this is getting very, very scrappy, but Frag doing in favor of Azerbaijan Technology, and they already have taking this mid here, but Golden stuck on crits is definitely not, I don't think it's ideal for the situation they currently have themselves in. They're going to have to use crits, not aggressively, but they're going to see if they have to get a pick onto Samson, who is coming up on Uber now.
Yeah, and it's somehow turned into a bit of dishad for smyb. Golden just not able to beam anyone, so the Uber comes up first for Azerbaijan, and they certainly know that the enemy team is stuck on crits, so they're going to be able to get through here pretty clean. They use, in the end, through the right shutter. The rest of the blue team is just kiting through spawn, so surely they'll be playing the point very soon. It looks like it's just a combo at the moment, but here come the soldiers on the pipes. There's cap time being pressured as well. The crits has come out, but it doesn't seem to pick up anything. Maybe that was air dying to a crit sticky, but the heavy on the point is just going to clean up everything, it looks like.
That actually worked out okay as well for the side of SMYB, actually, because the side, I think the crits, despite having it, in the last sort of second there, it actually worked out okay for SMYB, because what you usually just crits to heavy and then laser beams, essentially, or demo. So it wasn't actually as bad, but now I think Golden is switching back onto, I believe, just check. I believe back onto the Uber there. So both teams now back on Uber here, and I think it is a little bit of ad for the side of Azerbaijan Technology, but otherwise, yeah, SMYB looking to grind Uber, and I think they are going to play. I think they are playing a little bit further back here, so looking to probably give up yard once Azerbaijan choose to make the aggressive move here.
Yeah, we'll see if that move does come. Azerbaijan with about 25% Uber ad, but I'm not sure if it will. They're sort of just playing around mid, might just let it even up and go for some sort of soldier aggression, some sort of sack play, maybe. Homer and APVC having a really great time on Process, but not finding the same success as well. As well as it was on Process here on Granary. As they are going for a bit of a flank shove here, Homer's going to fall on the flank. Pride also picks up one there, but Campbell with the Uber picks up 3. And that's going to be really, really good for Azerbaijan Technology, but the counter Uber comes out now for smyb, and it's just a solo onto, I believe that is Tennis, trying to get as much frags as possible, but he's not going to find any high value picks, just gets one, but the second point will fall for Azerbaijan Technology, and with their players, they might be able to push into last here.
Yeah, and Uber ad actually on the side of Azerbaijan Technology here, so this game is not over yet, so we could be here for a little bit longer. Yeah, grinding is pretty well here, so I feel like Azerbaijan want to take this in as soon as possible and try to, not allow SMYB to get Uber in time. I think SMYB are actually doing job grinding, so they might even get for post here, and it is getting very, very close, and it might even just even out by the time Azerbaijan choose to push in. They are going through this catwalk position. Uber does get popped out. Golden walks back to spawn there, and he should get Uber in the nick of time. Does get Uber for the post here. So Uber does come out the side of SMYB. Players getting tagged in crow blow for SMYB here. Trash and Pride getting taken out, but Pride get takes out in the process there. However, Azerbaijan choose to retake this last point here. Uber does get forced out. Doctrine getting forced down there. 2 plays down to the side of SMYB. Point getting captured by Azerbaijan Technology. Guys getting captured in nick of time, and Azerbaijan respond with 2 rounds.
Yes, such a great repush for Azerbaijan Technology, getting the Uber out and then just coming back and healing up and repushing with the soldiers on height, and they're able to just knock that scout off the point to finish the cap. And you'd have to say, maybe with the momentum shift, with the long pause, this really could be the comeback of dreams for Azerbaijan Technology. They need to go all the way to 5 rounds here as we go into, I believe this is our 7th mid here. Both soldiers on low ground. Doctrine is going to go very low to get the pack. Ends up eating 100 damage from the enemy. Demo and just gets destroyed by a chip shot from air. So that's the demo down for both teams now, as Pride actually picks up Campbell. On the other side of things, he will fall himself to APVC, who will live with his life, gets an arrow from his mid, and he wants more. He's in Gary now with another soldier, misses the first, misses the second, but he secures it with the third, ends up getting trashed there, and the combo for smyb are just going to have to back out here onto their own second.
It looks like Azerbaijan have figured something out, and they are turning it back up in this sort of overtime, I guess what we should call it here, and already getting the ground in from this death position. That is Lilido getting taken out by the side of Tennis there, and yeah, even Ubers for both sides. Fane managed to live just by the skin of his teeth there, and I think it's just even Ubers here on in this yard and mid area here.
Yeah, just settling into another second stalemate here. Both teams having Uber, both teams with 6 players alive. Will be up to Azerbaijan Technology to see how they choose to play it. And the comeback is certainly on. They were down 4-0, now it's down to 4-2. They need to get to 5 rounds to take this map and take the series. And that's all they need is to win Granary here, and the series is over. We'll see if they opt to go for anything special here. I think last time they went for a flank shove. They're just pressuring and Gary here. Doctrine gets some nice pipes to dissuade any sort of players through there. Homer gets through, but he will die for it. Trash gets picked, but so does Air. The soldier now onto the medic. Golden living with 90 HP. He will hold the Uber there for his team. So the red team now will probably have to back up with 3 players down here.
Yeah, and looks like the side of actually no, as I said though, trade actually that's actually Dodger getting taken out. So we do see a bit of a fumble, I guess, coming out from the side of SMYB. That they do lose Doctrine, but they don't manage to use it, which I guess is okay, but losing a demo there is definitely not ideal. And look, SMYB already gaining a lot of space there, and Uber still on the side of Golden here, but still no Uber yet coming up by them, and Uber finally gets popped on the side of SMYB. That is the 4th job done for the side of Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan already backing out on to this mid point here, and they now are the ones having Uber and in control now of the game.
Yeah, they're pressuring in Gary here. Doctrine trying to get some space for his team, and he picks up Campbell. That's a nice pick, as he is going to have to deal with this bomb from APVC. APVC will not end up finding it onto Doctrine. He's coming back for seconds, though. Gets 108 on the scout, but he will fall himself to Trash. Trash coming in clutch there to save his scout's life. And with Campbell and APVC down, now smyb electing to stack the second point here, maybe deny APVC, and they're certainly going to be trying to aggress something here. There's a bit of 30% disad, so if Azerbaijan choose to use this, they will get caught, stuck on 70%, but I think they are just realizing that back down. Yeah. Oh no, Azerbaijan choose to go in. Campbell trying to get onto the medic, tries to throw a few pipes into Gary. He won't connect on the medic, but he will end up finding Pride. Fane also going to fall there, so they do get 2 picks of the Uber, but they're going to have to watch out here. 90% up for smyb.
Yeah, and Azerbaijan actually going quick with it. Seems like they can catch the side of SMYB off. Unfortunately, though, they don't manage to get. I saw Golden as well backing Gary, and there was like 3 rolls on the ground. I was like, oh my god, surely he doesn't die. But he does manage to live and retain Uber. Uber does get popped out though in the meantime by the side of SMYB there. Trash and Doctrine do take down APVC though from the flank play there, and as a result, SMYB actually don't get a whole lot besides those flank plays. They just managed to get mid here, and it is just even Ubers again. Not even Uber, sorry, Uber ad for the side of Azerbaijan Technology.
Yeah, they're trying to squeeze out as many forward spawns as possible, but the deny coming in for smyb, they're going to deny 2 there, so a 6v4 now onto second, and the blue team is going to be able to take yard for free. Essentially, it's just APVC on the flank. He's getting encircled, but the Uber now comes out. As you say, Uber ad for the red team. They do find 2 with it. Pride and Fame will fall. They do trade with APVC though, so it's a 2-for-1, and the blue team has been able to duck out. The rest of them living, but are they, as Trash falls onto the pack? I don't know if he's waiting for a pack or an arrow, but he is going to get sent to the respawn queue as the red team very convincingly gets the midpoint here.
Yeah, Azerbaijan managed to retake the mid, but Uber ad coming out on the side of SMYB. I think Trash was waiting for most, like, I'd say the pack. I don't think an arrow, personally. Unless Golden was in a position to arrow. But Uber coming out on the side of SMYB, and does this become another leapfrog sort of play? APVC going on to the lamp post there does spot the soldier, but that's actually Pride getting taken out, and that could be another soldier casualty for the side of Azerbaijan. Yeah, nice pipes by Campbell onto a tennis there, but no Uber needed to be used on the side of SMYB. They do manage to retake the midpoint. However, though, Uber now coming up on both teams here, and it's just going to equalize for those things.
Yeah, they're opting not to stack and instead trap the forwards, and Homer falls for it. He's not going to be able to get out of there. He's going to get sent back again. The 2 other players in the forward spawn opt to back spawn here to try and set up some sort of defense onto last, or maybe onto second, as they are pressuring into the shutter here. Doctrine's got a lot of work to do, throwing some projectiles out, trying to get the point for his team, but there's just so much pressure in this constricted area. Both demos throwing some projectiles at each other. Tennis is going for something, but the Uber comes out, and Doctrine is going to get dropped in the Uber, so Tennis is going to have to try and salvage. It's just Tennis, the only combat class alive for smyb, and Azerbaijan Technology, they know this. They're trying to get something here. The scout is looking so menacing in his face. They're just trying to run out with as much as they can. Down to 60, down to 0 now as Tennis falls golden on 25 HP. I think will actually survive though.
Just though, he has to. Azerbaijan just wanted that medic and scout dead. They're trying to go for Golden. Golden managed to live just on like 8 HP. So it was so close and luckily didn't catch a random stray bullet there. As a result though, I think it is a little bit of ad for the side of smyb, but I think it's just going to equalize. I don't know if they're going to play this same amount of ad. I feel like they should just play even, but I think this is where now it's starting to get, you know, the pressure sort of building. I think this is where smyb need to figure out, you know, what they want to do. You know, in this sort of situation, they do have control of the map. They are rounds up. There is definitely rounds to play with, but that is the start though, being literally getting taken out, and also it is just even Ubers, so both teams just holding position for the moment.
Yeah, Lily getting taken out there is going to dissuade any further sort of sack attempt for Azerbaijan Technology. No counter sack being able to happen. Looks like they were trying to pressure to choke their worst smib. Pride actually now does fall. But it's a pretty late counter sack, so 6v5 now for Azerbaijan. They could even sack 3 and still only be down 2 relative terms, but I don't think they're going for anything just yet. Some pressure in Gary. Doctrine throwing some pipes through, connects one onto the soldier there as the scout gets through but will get cleaned up. That's air. APBC also falls. Doctrine catches an arrow, maybe to save his life. He will end up training with a soldier there. Homer picks him up, and it's 3 down now for Azerbaijan Technology as they are trying to get out with their Uber, with their life onto mid. 5 still alive for the blue team as they're pushing into mid here.
Yeah, both teams not using Ubers here, so it's still even Ubers, but it looks like smyb already wanting to get a little bit of ground into Gary here, but already there is at least a few players there willing to meet Tennis there, but Tennis does back in the nick of time there, managed to cap mid there, and now smyb do manage to retake the midpoint there, not needing to use Uber, which is a good start. However, yeah, both even Ubers here, and now see how smyb now choose to take this outside position.
Yeah, smyb with the midpoint, they only need 2 more points and this map is back for them. They will tie up the series 1-1 and we will go to a decider on Snakewater. Azerbaijan needs 3 more rounds. It's first to 5 wins and they will have a long time to go if they end up winning that. But if they win this map, again, they will go through to the next round. smyb get knocked out. The season is over for them. So we'll see how smyb choose to play this. The onus is on them for the sack. They're gearing up to go through DC, it looks like, get some pressure, maybe tank the demo through there. But we'll see what they elect to do.
Indeed, here I think it's just both teams. We're just waiting to see how smyb choose. I feel like they send a sack through, send one of the soldiers through, and I feel like you're better off just to have an off class, like a sniper or a spy, trying to go for some sort of play. It's probably a lot more effective here. I think they are gearing up, looks like, for some sort of aggressive play. Fane getting really aggressive there, but unfortunately didn't manage to pick up anything, and that's also trash as well. So 2 plays down to the side of smyb here. We do see a bit of a sack play coming out by them, and they are backing up a little bit from the doorways here, but are choosing to just play still on mid here, and I think potentially a trade looks like is on the cards here. Uber does get popped out on the side of smyb. Exchange now in the process here. Azerbaijan do reply with their Uber here. Should be a little bit better for the side of Azerbaijan, but though no frags yet for either side actually, as I said, as a result of the trade here, and now we just see a whole mid fight again.
Yeah, another mid-fight, but it looks like it's actually going to be decided very quickly with that APVC kill. Azerbaijan Technology opting to back up. There is a back-cap starter from Pride. He found his way into the backlines through the mayhem of all of that. Is going to drag the entirety of the red team back, and the combo for smyb are trying to capitalize on that. Getting so much damage here in yard. Damage getting traded back and forth, and Samson ends up falling to Fane. Fane getting some nice shots off, is going to get the mid pick, and that's all they came for. They're now trying to back out the blue team to dissuade any sort of counter sack attempt. Trash is going to fall, but he's going to buy enough time for Tennis and Golden to get out. With the Uber charge, they're already up to 70% here, and with the spawners, they're already going to be aggressing this midpoint.
Yeah, and full Uber coming up from the side of smyb as well. So definitely what, as you said, going for Samson there. So definitely came in for what they needed, which was that med pick. And now Uberad on the side of smyb. Do see a soldier play coming out from the side of Azerbaijan there, and no force coming out from the side of smyb. That is a soldier and scout down for the side of Azerbaijan, and already Tennis is calling for a quick play into Gary, already onto his outside position there, and already taking this second point.
Yeah, they only need 2 more points again, and the map is over. First to 5 wins. They still have about 25% advantage there. They do see the enemy combo sitting in the shutter, and Doctrine decides to go for it. He bombs into the shutter, bombs again with the Uber, but Samson is all the way out into spawn, so they will not catch the medic with that Uber. That's Tennis falling as well, the combo scout for smyb in the midst of things, but they did find 3 frags, so surely they're going to be coming onto the point here. The Uber certainly has to get used for Azerbaijan Technology. They are trying to distract them and maybe get some point play. Both soldiers on the height, just waiting for the Uber to get finalized for Azerbaijan Technology. Fane ends up catching Lilia some really nice some shots from Fane there to pick up the scout. But in the end of all of that, they are backing out the second 30% advantage though for smyb.
Yeah, and it looks like actually smyb are now have the advantage here, so hopefully they can definitely recover. I feel like that push Doctrine saw them, he just sort of used it and sort of skipped through. He beefed his jump, and I think that's sort of just where it went wrong. He knew it, and then you saw him just sort of curve back down towards that right hand shutter there. But Uber's coming up on the side of smyb. Samson only on 80% there. Should get for post hopefully, but that point play is what they're coming for. Campbell actually getting down, so no stickies are available for the side of Azerbaijan there. And you actually have a heavy, so this heavy play actually working out incredibly well for the side of smyb. And now we are going to map number 3. smyb managed to crawl back from that map 1. And now, finally, managed to close out with a 5-2 scoreline. And as a result, Snakewater is now our decider coming into this game.
Really great last push to finish things off for smyb as they win the second map here. The heavy just coming out at the death in the post and just cleaning up on the pipe with the Tomislav. Just convincing mid push. And smyb, you'd have to say they certainly deserve to win that map. A complete reversal of what we saw on Process, where they just had no hope, it looked like. It just looks so much easier for them on Granary as we pull up the logs here.
I mean, the logs, one thing to stand out is you have to look at like Tennis, 37 kills, doing, I think, actually doing a lot of work. Fane, even despite having a very little amount of damage, I feel like Fane sort of did, he actually played really well. So just doing what needs to be done and just sort of supporting out where need be. And you saw the plays that he was going for with his soldiers, sort of trading out and going for these more sort of like baity type of plays. So it's understandable that he doesn't have that high of a damage. But then Trash, though, 34 kills needs to be highlighted. But when you look at the picks he was going for, he got 3 med picks, but also he got majority of the forces for the side of smyb. You have to give props to Trash for the plays he was going for. Especially onto Samson and getting some really, really good forces that definitely benefited smyb. But also, when you want to look at the side of Azerbaijan, I mean, you do have to highlight, I guess, APVC, 1732, 151. Like, some of it, I think, at some point, it just became sort of dire, and I think you just have to go for some sort of plays. But something just wasn't sort of working out. But I feel like APVC was the one sort of making space as well. So it feels like his deaths are a little bit higher. But overall, I think a much better performance coming out from the side of smyb. But very, very close game when you look at generally mid fights as well. 4-3 with Azerbaijan actually having the better of the mid fights. But overall, a much better game coming out from the side of smyb.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what they needed. They need to find some sort of momentum, some sort of chemistry in the team to bring it back after losing that 4-0 so convincingly in Process. And they certainly have. Up 5-2 now. We've been able to see sort of Doctrine and Tennis absolutely nuking some things as we see Tennis there. Yeah, 3.7 KD. Very convincing for him. As you were saying about APVC, you might look at the log and say it's a 0.5 KD, but he really just had to keep going for these sort of salvage plays to keep his team in it. There was almost even started a comeback of Dreams.
Yeah.
Going from 4-0 to 4-2, but not eventuating. Unfortunately for them, they will have to go to Snakewater. Both teams winning each other's map picks now, so Snakewater the decider, we'll see who wins it. Any sort of changes that you're looking for going to this map?
I feel like, again, this is where both teams, it's just like not home ground, but both teams are very familiar with this map. But I feel like we need to see something different from these mids that Azerbaijan were coming up on Granary. Some of them just became baiting Gary, but then on Granary, and they just turned out, you just get wiped basically. Like they get the med of, let's say, golden on SMYB, but then you turn around and 2 seconds later, everyone just collapses. Snake Water, yes, you can still bait and saw, but I feel like I do want to see how the soldiers play on Azerbaijan and what type of aggressive plays they can do. They can, like, you can definitely bait and saw in this map, but they need to do it correctly, because the one on Granite, they just got crushed instantly. That definitely wasn't what they needed there. But no, look, I feel like SMYB definitely now have a fighting chance, and I feel like that map on Grand has definitely, helped there with their mental, and now moving into Snake Water, I feel like they definitely have momentum to definitely now try to close this out. But again, it can be anyone's game here on this map, where both teams probably have played it 1,000 times, whether it's official scrims or pugs.
Yeah, 100%. Certainly a change of pace going from Granary. Again, a map that smyb hadn't played in the regular season. As you say, they were sort of just prepping some last minute material for it before this match. Clearly it worked though. But we are going now to Snake Water, probably the second biggest pub map in Australia. So every player on every team will know this map for sure. But we will see. The momentum is certainly in smyb's favor, especially after winning that second map, winning the enemy team's map pick. You'd have to say Azerbaijan will have to think of something to turn the tides back into their favor. I'm certainly going to be looking at the soldier duo though for Azerbaijan, APVC and Homer. A bit quieter on Granary, but they were causing so much mayhem on Process, and I'd certainly think they can get to some more shenanigans, some sort of better coordinated double sacks here on Snake Water.
Yeah, I do agree as well. I do feel like as well, I do want to see what we can expect from these mids, if we do see any fast plays coming out from the soldiers of respective side. But I think Azerbaijan is probably the one to look at APVC and Homer, whether they choose to go for a sort of fast play, whether they go kitchen, go wrap behind, see if we can crunch, the side of SMYB. But I feel like Azerbaijan need to play. They probably need to play a little bit more aggressive. They can't do any sort of they can't do too many passive mids. They need to figure out, because the passive mid they did on Grand went horribly wrong. So I think on Snake Water, yes, you can bait, but I feel like one thing they should do is either go for the sort of crunch play, go super aggressive, but I feel like as well, they need to make sure, their coordination and just general focus fire. Because I feel like there were times where on Azerbaijan, especially on Granary, there were definitely a few misplays when it comes to some of the trades they want to do, or they were very sporadic or very spread out, and unfortunately, things just didn't work out in their favor.
Yeah, 100%. So we do just have 12 in the server, just waiting for both teams to ready up. Maybe waiting for Discord to come back online. I think reading the pause chat, it was just 2 of them dropped out of Discord, so it looks like it affected some people, but not everyone. Yeah, I'm not sure if you have any more talking points for this one.
It's do or die now for either team. I mean, for people joining us now, is winner obviously goes through to face the loser of WOG versus TTT, which I think this is anyone's game now coming into Snake Water. But we are now on to the final map of this series here, Snake Water, and we are on the cam of Campbell for this rollout. Is do or die for either one of these teams.
Yeah, winner goes through, loser goes home. Campbell getting a clean rollout, Doctrine opting to go through lowers. They are just going to throw some stickies back at each other. The Rockets also coming through, so it looks like it might be a bit of a spammy mid for both teams. Just sort of feeling each other out, just trying to see how the pace might go. Azerbaijan coming off the map loss on Granary might have to change something here. As the soldier goes high, that's trash. He will end up finding Samson. He gets what he came for, but the counter aggression now, the double bomb, beautifully coordinated from Azerbaijan, does salvage the medic. But they are all going to die for it. And another mid-win for smyb.
Yeah, an aggressive play coming out from Azerbaijan, but then SMYB unfortunately losing their medic in the process there. However, they do manage to clean up the mid, but everyone just sort of gets taken out. I feel like that's the thing, is where as soon as Samson dies, they obviously went for the classic aggressive play, but it looked like they were gearing up for some sort of play originally, but Samson gets taken out, and Samson gets taken out in the process there as a result of that, and then obviously just to go all in, seeing a golden, which they do, but it is now just even Ubers here, and we do actually have a spy which has been committed by Pride here.
Yeah, he's coming on now. He doesn't get the medic, but he gets air. I don't know if that was intentional, but he gets the scout instead of the medic. That is going to distract the enemy team, though. So smyb trying to dry push through lowers here. Fane getting some nice shots off onto his counterpart, the enemy scout there, but won't finish him off. I think that's Tennis going up the bats here to try and catch Dero. This would be a really high value pick, and they'll get it. Campbell will fall. They're also on crits, smyb, and you can't really blame them. It's been working so well for them on Granary here, and here comes the use. They're flashing between the scout and the soldier. They don't find any frags just yet. That's Hoba now falling, but so much pressure onto the point.
Oh, they just get Uber in. Oh, that was so close because Fane had. Sorry, I think Pride had the flash off the crits, and then Samson just got Uber in the nick of time and popped. That would have been a really fat rocket if he was to land on that last point there, but very, very clutch save by Samson there for the side of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, absolutely. Just frame perfect use there. Ends up saving his players and saving his team the round. That would have just spelled so much momentum for smyb coming off of that Granary map win to get around that quickly, but they will save face for his team. It looks like it's going to be around about even Ubers, maybe 20% ad for Azerbaijan. Not sure if they'll take that, and we might just settle into a stalemate here as both teams are just building up their Ubers.
Indeed, yeah, I think it's just gonna be even Ubers for both sides here. Basically, no one's gonna make a move for the time being. I think both teams come with Ubers shortly, and I think it doesn't surprise me that smyb choose to play further back here just to anticipate a fast play coming out from the side of Azerbaijan. But now with Lily Day and taken down, I think they're just going to choose to hold here, which they are. And yeah, it is now just even Ubers here and space regained for the side of smyb.
Yeah, settling into our first stalemate here on Snakewater. We'll see how smyb choose to take it. They are just pressuring through Saw here at the moment. They had the one player pick on Lily. They are just bombing him now is Pride. He is going to fall onto the point. Homer trading some spam in Saw for it, and now that was the double stack coming out for smyb. They're not able to get the force, and Azerbaijan are gearing up to go through lowers, trying to counter some sort of aggression here.
Oh
Doctrine trying to stuff the doors and drop Samson. Incredible pipe from Doctrine, just gets the medic pick there. You'll see any sort of salvage plays coming up for the red team. Campbell comes in, but Golden surfs backwards and Saw, but the rest of the team is just going to get absolutely mulched. They're trying to pick up the flies here onto the rest of the team. Both scouts just trying to cause a ruckus, trying to waste as much time with the Uber. That's Lily stuck behind, just going to get a pack in Saw, but smyb know they can take this all the way to last if they play it correctly, and Lily is just going to have to defend for her life in the backlines here. Tries to get onto Fane, but Fane is too smart for it and will kill the scout behind.
So unfortunate for Samson. Lily sort of watching this cross and waiting for the spam, and then Samson just eats 2 pipes and just gets deleted, basically. That is so unlucky. And nice surf by Golden as well, serving back into Saw. And now, that use before, I think, was actually completely fine. Just cleaning up the frags there, have used just to save your players there. And he still has a good amount of ad, which they are going to use here. Look like they are going to go from this right position, but now that is Tennis getting taken out. That might delay the... It looks like it has actually delayed the push there, so a really nice shot coming out from Lily on the sniper there onto Tennis, and that has just equalized the Ubers as a result.
Yeah, and Tennis has decided to come back on Sniper, so that one shot in drop down just completely neutralizing the advantage that smyb had on the Ubers. 20-second Uber advantage gone. They just opt not to take it without their combo scout, so just going to be a little bit of another stalemate here. Lily has gone back onto scout, so Tennis will not have an SVS to face with. We'll see if he goes for any sort of special sightlines. Can't see him at the moment. I think he's just, behind the logs, peeking up top left, trying to catch someone off. I don't know if Azerbaijan Technology know that there's a sniper yet, but they do find Pride, and they are just going to use top left to get the demo pick. That's Doctrine falling in lobby by himself. So now it's just Fane, the only scout alive for smyb. As there's happenings on the flank as well, Trash is going to fall to Lily, and they're just backing up all the way. They have to. No Uber getting used to trade onto point, and Azerbaijan Technology, I think that was 3 or 4 kills coming out with that Uber there. Very successful push for them.
I mean, they use that Uber, but now it is actually it is ad now for the side of smyb, so they are gearing up for this. Fane having to play the combo scout because Tennis is on that sniper there. I think Tennis going back to force does switch back to the scout there, so now slight ad though coming out from the side of smyb. However, though, it is actually fading very, very quickly. They are starting the second point capture here, but
Do they choose to take it into last? And I think they are trying to go as quick as they can with it going through this top left position. Uber gets popped through from the side of SMYB. Yeah, gun does get spotted out. Uber does immediately get popped on the side of Azerbaijan. So it just turns to a little bit of trade there. And as a result, SMYB having to back out of last. That is Pride also getting taken out as a result of that push there.
Yeah, Fane sitting in the spawn is actually, almost gets the soldier pick there. I think there was 8 HP left on Homer, but he will fall, and that's going to be 2 down now for smyb. Azerbaijan Technology trying to push out of Snakewater last, or are they? I think they're just keeping the NG up, just poking and prodding. Lily falls, but they can afford to lose one, and I think they might just settle into holding last again.
Indeed, I think both teams are now just going to become even Ubers here, and I don't think anyone's really going to push out. Actually, I feel like SMYB, no, they're not grinding, okay. I feel like SMYB want to play this quick. They are trying to make some space on this right-hand side for Trash. Trash going in high for a big bomb there, doesn't spot anything. Nice rocket onto APVC there. Can he get anything else with these? And doesn't actually stays alive for a really, really long time, and Uber actually comes down the side of SMYB. That point getting almost captured. Uber does get popped out inside of SMYB here. This might just turn into a little bit of trade here. Samson does reply with his Uber, and SMYB just back out from that lower position. Nice rockets by Trash there, and also staying alive for that crucial extra few seconds.
Yeah, the space mate for his team has enabled this repush now. They've healed up in lobby. They're trying to get it. It's so close to the point, and they do in the end. They clean up all 4 frags left alive for Azerbaijan Technology. Really great for smyb. First round here on the deciding map.
Yeah, really, really nice play in trashing some nice rockets there, and also staying alive. And that sort of, I feel like, caused that sort of, play coming out from space made by Trash, simply as that, as you said. So really, really nice play coming out by Trash, and I mean, you can show the amount of sort of plays he's trying to go for, trying to make something work for his team.
Yeah, really, really clutch that play, enabling that repush, which ends up winning the round for his team. Now we're into the second mid here. The soldiers come out for smyb, and now the counter aggression coming out for Azerbaijan Technology. They will pick up Doctrine, but Samson falls. Pride hitting some nice rockets, gets a 2k and 100 on that last soldier there. Ends up getting the kill, so that's 3 kills for Pride, and I think that's 2 as well. Both medics do fall, but another mid win for smyb.
Very late death from Gold. A little bit of a late death, sorry, don't say very, but late death from Golden. But I feel like Golden got separated there a little bit. I feel like he just needs to. He should have gone forward with his team. It looked like they want to go for the left-hand aggressive play, but Golden sort of got left back behind, and as well get called out by that soldier there, which unfortunately does pick off Golden. I think Golden as well missed a few surfs that he probably should have been hitting, but unfortunately, does get taken out in the process there. So a little bit of ad coming out from the side of Azerbaijan, and already Pride trying to go and see him get a pick on to Samson there, but does get taken out. However, though, trade coming out by Tennis there does take down Home in the process. Fane does get taken out. Doctrine and Tennis do clean up on Campbell there. So Frag's actually getting a little bit messy here for both sides, and as a result, actually, SMYB still choosing to stay in, still trying to muscle their way in super, super slowly there, and Ubers are practically actually even as a result.
Yeah, they're just trying to dry push lowers with the demo pick and play around their own demo that they have alive to control the space, but they're not going to find anything. They push too far forward, and Doctrine's going to fall. Golden has to get out down to 70 HP, and they're just going to have to try and preserve this Uber to salvage something on mid here, as APVC is in the backlines. They will find Pride, but Pride will luckily get a rocket off there to trade with Homer. APVC now onto the high ground, just spamming some rockets onto the combo, but will try and secure this mid for his team.
Yeah, Trash looking to stay in mid for a little bit longer, trying to cause a bit of a distraction here, but we do see a trade coming out from the side of SMYB. Uber does get popped on the side of Azerbaijan, and Tennis actually separating with his meds, so that's definitely not what you want to see. Golden does get taken out, and actually a little bit of a backup attempt, so this might work out. It is finally getting stopped by the side of Azerbaijan, but Fane is also behind here, causing a lot of chaos here, trying to get some sort of distraction play, but as all that sort of happening, this point is, how are these plays actually still alive is what I'm wondering, because it's actually about to get captured here, and that is now last open. Taking nice rocket by Trash onto air there. They finally die, and that's actually delayed long enough.
Yeah. What an incredible
for the
backup
side
play.
of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, absolutely. They're able to just stay alive so long, juking, it seemed like every single rocket going their way, they're able to dodge on single-digit HP, and they're able to secure the cap as well and bring the entirety of Azerbaijan Technology back. So that's going to delay so much of this push for the red team. It's now even Ubers, but Campbell is down, so certainly the blue team is trying to fight this smyb. APVC is high in the air, but he will just, no, he won't get out. Ends up dying to his own rocket in Saw, and this is really good momentum now for smyb as they are trying to dry push lows. We'll see if they can get it this time around. They catch the scout in behind, that's air, and now with both scouts on the low ground here, Pride is causing an absolute mayhem in lobby. He will end up cratering onto lowers. The soldier now high, that is Homer onto bats, just fading, trying to cause a distraction here. 10% advantage for Golden. We'll see if they end up using it. They might be able to crunch them in lowers, but I think Samson might have spotted it just enough dis out there to call it off. And now just trying to get back onto last here, but Fade is on. We'll end up getting the force as well for Samson. The Uber comes out for smyb, but this is just so back and forth here. They've managed to cap second in the process, and the blue team here are just trying to get something, but they will all fall in lowers.
Very, very scrappy play coming out from the side of smyb, and Fane getting the force turning to trade, but then the heavy just sort of peppering down on the side of on Doctrine and Golden, and that's take down both of them. So I feel like it's just very scrappy sort of push, trying to salvage what they can in that sort of process there. And Fane and Pride getting caught in the process. So if Azerbaijan do manage to salvage around, do manage to sort of come back from that sort of deficit they had, and as a result, managed to cap mid and are cap second, and are now working their way into mid here, and we do see Tennis on the sniper.
Yeah, he's got a sneaky sightline here in Cat. I don't think it's certainly is spotted now. He's going to catch 84 on the demo, that's Campbell, but he will end up dying. Hoper and APVC shutting that sniper down very quickly, and that's going to secure the midpoint for Azerbaijan Technology. They do have about 60% advantage here, and they'll be certainly trying to take this. I don't know if they can take it all the way into last, but certainly into second. They're coming through Saw here. Don't think they have to use their gearing to go through Cheese even. Maybe that's through Bridge. I'm not sure if they can get it all the way. Tennis is up on Engineer, and they're on 80% here. smyb to try and salvage this last hold, try to not equalize. The Uber does come out though for Azerbaijan Technology. They use through lowers, bombing left. Campbell gets taken down to 2 HP, and he's not going to get the catch from his own medic. Just on the wrong way around on tower there, as the counter Uber comes out for smyb, and they have so much free reign here to try and get anything here. The soldier on bats, that's Homer, as Fane picks up earlier. He's going for a second as well, trying to get the second scout here in. Saw gets the pack, does air, but he's going to die for it, as Fane picks up a nice 2k there, and Azerbaijan Technology just have to back out of mid.
Yeah, Azerbaijan, that's really unfortunate. I think a mistake coming out from the side of Azerbaijan. Campbell not getting flashed out, as you said, so causing this sort of push to crumble. But already Fane just trying to go in for a bit of a heroic play onto Samson there, but Samson does manage to live, doesn't actually eat any damage as a result of that, and it is practically pretty much even Ubers. I don't think Azerbaijan will try to do anything crazy if they do choose to get second, which they have. Try to take this last really quickly. I think they are just, taking their time, cap second, and already do see an NG coming up on Fane there for the side of smyb, and I think it's just going to even out for both sides here.
Yeah, even though it's only 1-0, this has been such a back and forth game. This is, once again, the deciding map in this elimination final for ozfortress Prem Season 44. The winner will progress on to the next round, and the loser will go home. This is the season done for any team that loses this. We have 10 minutes left in regulation before it goes to batting time. smyb up 1-0 as the sack attempt comes in from Homer. He's not going to get anything, just gets trashed out to 35 HP, but he will be sent to the respawn queue himself, as we are just on even Ubers here, Snakewater last.
Yeah, nothing. I think it's pretty standard here. We don't see any too crazy regarding off-class inside of smyb. Following is still the NG. And we do have a Spy, but I think it's just checking off-classes here. No commitment yet coming out from the Spy yet, checking off-classes here. So we do have Fane on the NG. I think he's going to move his gun into the anti-sack spot here. Golden's going to play behind the concrete sort of wall here. So pretty standard hold coming from smyb, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, both soldiers trying to get the gun through drop down, but Homer will fall for it. Nice bomb from Pride, picking up the soldier kill there. And he might go for seconds, trying to get the scout in lowers, but he won't find it. That gun spot on Snakewater last, just so oppressive, so hard to spam down. And it will just be a successful hold once again for smyb. We'll see if they can keep going. 2.5 minutes. You have to imagine they're probably playing for round reset here. and trying to win another mid. And you can't really blame them. The mids have been going so well for smyb so far, ever since we've left Process, really.
I think with these mids as well, the one thing you just need to tidy up is to make sure they're not too disconnected with Golden. I think at times they are. So they just need to figure out how they want to approach that and maybe play a little bit more once you get Sam to Dev play together around your med, or, you know, your souls charge forward and see what happens. But yeah, pretty standard hold coming out from the side of smyb. No crazy off class here. APVC does get taken out. Campbell very weak, still waiting for a heal. Does finally get that. And an off class now coming out on the side of Azerbaijan, and I believe APVC has committed on the spy play.
Yeah, very interesting. APVC, bit of a playmaker, bit of an X factor. We'll see if he can get a nice play here once again, as he is making his way through the left side, completely cloaked. I think they must know though, because Tennis is off class checking in spawn, and he certainly does, immediately catches the spy. Really, really great play from Tennis there. And APVC dies for nothing.
I think Doctor turned around and 180 piped him, and just conveniently he was just there. And we do see an Uber coming out from the side of Azerbaijan, and no Uber for the side of smyb. So I think the Uber was just used maybe to even take out that gun potentially, and Uber not getting popped up from the side of smyb here. And do they choose to push out, or they play for the round reset? And it looks like a round reset is the call by them.
Yeah, 55 seconds left in the round. If it ends up running out, we will just go to another mid-fight there. I think the Azerbaijan Technology they used because they caught Doctrine away from the beam on the top left there, and they are able to get the Doctrine kill, but Golden just opting not to use. He knows that even if they get the demo pick against the full Uber and against the level 3 Sentry Gun, there's not going to be much of a push for Azerbaijan. And now they're going to have to burn so much seconds off the clock to rebuild their Uber. Azerbaijan Technology, they will get it up around about now, so 25 seconds left. They have to go for a play, and they have to go for something pretty much now. And they are going for it. Here it is, the use through top left, trying to spam the gun in the midst of this trade. The Uber does come out for the blue team. It is certainly a lot better, but Pride will fall and Trash will fall, so no one can deny the point here. It's actually looking really good for Azerbaijan Technology. Scout on the point, he might just be able to get it, and he does! So a successful push right at the end there for Azerbaijan Technology, ties it up 1-1.
The HP as well looking really, really dire after post-Uber when you saw Golden on red HP, and Pride as well, so players falling down from the side of smyb, and finally Azerbaijan reply with a round, and now it's equalized 1-1 with 6 minutes 30 or so left on the clock here. So this is a very, very close game on our hands for the Prem playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. This is win or go home. There's 6.5 minutes left on the banny time, or sorry, on the regulation time. As we go into our third mid here, Doctrine goes very low to a straight rocket from Homer bombing in, and now the counter bomb coming out for Trash is going to cause a ruckus in Kitchen. He will trade with Lily for it. APVC falls Kratos to his death, as it's looking a little bit better for smyb. They're going to catch Fane though in the backlines, and Golden falls to some stickies from Campbell. So as I say that, everyone from smyb is just dying. There's a combined, what is that, 108 HP for smyb. Tennis trying to go for a salvage play right at the death, but he won't get it. Air defending his medic right at the end there, and it's looking really good for Azerbaijan Technology.
Yeah, Trash actually opting to go on the sniper, so trying for a bit of a hero shot, but yeah, much better mid coming out from Azerbaijan Technology, and this time keeping the first mid actually where a med lives for both of these teams, and Samson basically full Uberad. We do have Trash on the sniper, see if can delay them going for some sort of hero play. Does spot the soldier, but they do see the sniper. I think Trash is getting forced out of that angle here, and second point getting captured by Azerbaijan on smyb second here, and Uber already up on the side of Azerbaijan, and I think they are looking to go through this shutter here on this right-hand side.
Yeah, going through the shutter they are. Camel gets his bomb stuffed a little bit, but Lily is able to play the point very quickly, gets the reflash. Homer's in the air, is trying to get earshot, but he will live with his life. APVC lands on the point, but will die. The heaviest come out, but it doesn't matter. The point time too much once again, and Azerbaijan Technology, 2 quick rounds, they're right back in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Azerbaijan just doing for the simple, you know, just nothing too, I think, sophisticated. Use free shutter, and then just going mainly trying to go for some point play there. The heavy as well coming out very last second, unfortunately just not making a point in the nick of time, and as a result Azerbaijan managed to get 2 rounds on the board, now are in the lead. So smyb losing their advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. As we go into our fourth mid, the tables haven't turned. As here comes the bomb, the soldiers are high. Both teams double bombing. Both teams going for something. Campbell and Samson are going to fall for the red team along with Ear, but Golden is going to fall on the other side of things. It's now all up to APVC. He's stuck in kitchen and he's got a tall order to go against 3 players, and he knows it. He's just going to bomb out, try to preserve his life, but smyb getting the comeback mid that they needed to get back into this game.
Yeah, and these mids as well for smyb, they're not the cleanest, to be honest. It is very, very scrappy. Again, both meds do die on this mid here, so it is just going to be even Ubers for both sides here, and looks like as a result, smyb already getting ground on the second here. However, though, getting forced as Azerbaijan do choose to retake the second point here and are going to hold it. But yeah, these mids are super, super messy for smyb, I have a feeling. It's very scrappy for, I'd say, both sides here, but Azerbaijan not wanting to, keep off the pedal here, already getting onto his midpoint, and Golden actually is on the crits, but that crits is being neutralized as he gets taken out in the process here, and Samson getting caught in all that sort of chaos, but does manage to live, and now full Uberad on the side of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, and Air doing a really clutch job right at the end there to get any sort of salvage play neutralized for Pride. Campbell picking up Doctrine as well to save the Uber for his team. Azerbaijan Technology, there's 3 minutes left in regulation and they have full Uber charge ad as Golden respawns still on the crits, so maybe going for a bit of a Euro crits play to try and salvage this. Azerbaijan Technology looking to go up 3-1 here. They're gearing their way on second, going through Saw. It's a little bit slow, so Golden already at 35% crits. They might be able to get it for post, but here they come. They're gearing to go through lowers here. Samson lowers to Shutter, it looks like, and you can't really blame them with how well the last push went. They might just be using through Shutter and trying to get some early point time. The gun is level 2 on the ground, is going to get spammed out eventually. They're trying to cross. Camel gets the reflash and the soldiers come in from the left. It's absolute carnage around this truck area here as Golden is on 90%. Will they get the crits? I don't know if they'll even need it. There's only one alive, and that's Lily. And a successful hold for smyb.
Very good hold from smyb and managed to hit their shots on that last hold there. That crit's luckily didn't get used there, and Golden managed to also stay alive. He almost died as well on that last push. A little bit scary there, but crits add for the side of smyb. I don't know if Azerbaijan saw if it was crits or not, but curious to see how they play it, because I do want to see if Azerbaijan choose to hold closer, or are they going to hold a little bit aggressive here, but Golden with the crits and oh, actually, Samson gets taken out as a result of that. So crit sticky does land on Samson, so not too bad actually.
Yeah, the sack for the medic came in just as Doctrine got that crit sticky off to get the enemy medic, so it's currently a 3v3 onto the second here. Air's trying to pick up a kill on the soldier around logs. He's so low, playing some jukes around the other side of the train, but he will fall. Air with 43 HP is going to pick up the pack, and he's going for more. Scout 1v1 onto the second point here, and he gets the pick onto Fane. Homer's come in to try and support him as the medic is out. That's Golden back onto the Uber charge, but they're just going to have to back up here. The players for Azerbaijan Technology coming in at just the right time. They're trying to shut them out and delay for their combo to get in as soon as possible. Tennis is trying to go for something. There's pressure both ways, but the red team is able to convincingly get all the ground here. It's just Homer and Lobby, but the rest of the team is there to support them. Even as it looks like.
Yeah, and with 45 seconds left on the clock, we are going to move to banning timer now. So Azerbaijan just need one more round to close this and potentially close this and then qualify their way into that semi-final game. But smyb still on this last point here, still holding it down. We do have Tennis on the Spy, I'm presumably just checking off class. There's no commitment coming out from him. And we do have Fane on the NG as a pretty standard hold coming out from the side of smyb. 20 seconds left on the regulation timer, so overtime soon to be in fact.
Yeah, another snake water last here, as you say. 14 seconds left on the regulation that will certainly be ticking over, so Azerbaijan Technology will only need one more round to win this map and win this series and go on to the next round while smyb get eliminated. It's going to be a first to 3 here. We'll see how Azerbaijan try and break this last hold. They weren't doing so well last time here as Air goes in and gets demolished by the sentry gun. APVC is high. He's trying to get a sync onto Golden, but the dispenser armor saves him. The second soldier goes in and gets eaten by the gun. So that's a failed triple sack attempt for Azerbaijan, and it lets smyb push out here.
APVC looking down straight at Golden, I saw when I was on his cam, trying to go for the sync. But before I say about that, we do see a trade coming out from the side of Azerbaijan, and do see multiple flashes coming from the side of smyb here. Uber fading shortly for the side of Azerbaijan, and it actually is a little bit better for the side of smyb as they are getting frags. You do get 3 compressors, and Samson managed to live just by the skin of his teeth there.
And Homer is going to get Pride there. Oh, sorry, not get anything. Try to get the sync with 3 HP left. Is not going to find the kill onto the medic. As you say, Samson just inches away from eating that sticky to get him down to the respawn queue, but he will live with his life. It's now 30% Uberad though. The forward spawns come out for Azerbaijan, so Doctrine just trying to poke and prod into lowers there. But with this Uberad, they might certainly be able to push into second here, as we are now back to a 6v6. Every player has respawned. And we'll see how smyb choose to take this with 30% ad.
They are going to try to use this ad by the looks of things, but I think they're... I think they are going to play this ad. I was going to say they might just let it even out, but no, it looks like they are going to play the ad. Hopefully play this ad here. They are just buffing their players here, figuring out where they want to choose to go, and I think looks like lower is the call here by smyb, but they need to move quick though, because this ad is fading very quickly. I think they are, looks like they are just going to turn this into a sack play, I think, by the looks of things. So just turn this to a bit of a fake push coming out from the side of smyb here. So not much ground taken as of yet by the side of smyb, but it looks like they are just going to be hovering in this lower position.
Yeah, that 30% ad just sort of eventuated into just, it seemed like 3 fade bombs for the side of smyb, not really able to catch anything, not able to turn it into a successful sack. So instead, it'll be even Ubers for both teams trying not to lose it, maybe, with how many more stalemates we're having towards the end here. smyb trying to get around back onto the board to tie it up at 2-2. Again, first to 3 will win the series, and the loser will go home. As we see the double sack not really coming out, actually. Here's Trash coming in to trying to pick up APVC on the pipe, and they do pick him up. Pride is going to fall to air, though, coming through Cheese to pick to get that pick to neutralize the player advantage. Trash is high, and so is Homer. Homer will pick up Trash, but gets a nice arrow, I think that was, to save his life. Picks up the pack as well, and now it's 3 down for smyb, and Azerbaijan Technology certainly looking to push through here. Lily is going to go through Kitchen, gets the Uber, and they're trying to milk it. smyb, they do get the Uber forced eventually, and smyb is trying to get in with the longer Uber here, but I don't know how much they can do. Again, with the 3 players down on their team, they're just going to have to even things out here. Azerbaijan Technology still poking and prodding through lowers here. Homer and Campbell are going to fall though, so that might dissuade any sort of push from them, and they're just back onto their own second.
Yeah, really nice recovery from smyb after that Uber sort of play coming out from the side of Azerbaijan, trying to force the Uber early, and Campbell just sort of going down in that sort of doorway there. So a little bit of disconnect coming from the side of Azerbaijan, and now smyb working their way slowly onto this last point here, already actually in this top left position, trying to trap them out on the left spawn, but no cap time yet played for the side of smyb here. We do have a heavy coming out on the side of Azerbaijan Technology, but Golden getting taken out, and there's actually players going down for the side of smyb as they lose their heals as well. So now it's actually pretty much full Uberad for the side of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, and certainly they're going to be trying to push this. They do keep the NG alive, but probably just to watch last. They're tempting fate by going through lowers, but it looks like the only one they have to worry about is Pride and drop down. They do know about it. Soldier turning around for him, and he is going to fall in the shutter there. So successful push out for Azerbaijan, and they still have 75% ad. Only have to watch for Trash. He's sniping in Saw, I believe. It will be a bit of a sneaky off class for them, but Azerbaijan pushing into mid here.
Yeah, he's trying to find a time in Kitchen there, but Uber already getting popped out on the side of Azerbaijan, and as I said, this is just going to turn into a bit of a leapfrog scenario. They definitely do see the sniper now. He's beelining for Trash there, but Trash managed to live as well. So they do, smyb are stuck with a sniper, but at least they get out with their med. They do have full Uberad. Azerbaijan choose to use the Uber, which is a bit strange because they didn't really get anything with it. They just used it just to get the point by the looks of things. So this just turned into a bit of a leapfrog scenario, and Homer gets taken out. So that is now 5v6 in favor of smyb. But actually, like I said, that's actually 2 players down on both sides here. So at least Azerbaijan do manage to salvage something. That's actually APVC causing a bit of chaos in the backline.
Yeah, APVC trying to start a back cap, but with the 1x, there's not going to be enough for the 4x on mid. As you say, smyb still stuck with the sniper. They do have 25% more advantage. APVC is going for a sink onto the forward spawn, but he's surely going to get picked up here. 50 HP gets a rocket onto the combo, found his way there somehow, but he will fall. It is now even Ubers for both teams, but with the player pick, they're certainly going to be trying to make some space, maybe for their sniper, smyb. He's just sniping through a window here. They certainly know about it, do Azerbaijan Technology, so they're playing the right sight lines, playing behind the logs. We'll see if Trash can pick something up here.
Indeed, yeah, and SMYB making a move here. Doctrine getting launched up in the air does get an arrow down. We do see a bit of a commitment coming up from the side of Azerbaijan, yeah, and as I said, though, do see a trade coming up from both teams here. Lily trying to get onto Tennis there. Tennis does get the flash in the process there, and as a result, it actually is ended better for the side of SMYB. They do manage to get ground, do manage to get picks, and they do get the second point there, and already working their way into lobby, and already onto this left-hand side onto last.
Yeah, pushing to last, they are through the top left here, but the spawners have come in just in time for Azerbaijan, forcing them out through that choke again, and unluckily, just a few seconds away, it seemed like if the spawners didn't come, they weren't able to force them out, Azerbaijan, so they are able to salvage this last hold here. smyb trying to go for a second round win here and tie things up. Again, it is first to 3, will progress. The loser is out. The season is over for them, as it looks like we're signaling into another snake water last even situation. There's a soldier in. That is Pride. He will fall. So an early sack coming out, but they still have a sniper do smyb as well.
Yeah, when they're pushing in there as well, it's unfortunate how the sniper doesn't really help them, especially if they want to go fast with it. So I can understand they just cancel it as soon as sort of start going haywire. But we do just have to sniper off class for the side of SMYB being trashed. Pride staying on the soldier here, so nothing too crazy yet to be seen. Trash just holding on the logs there, trying to see if he can spot a player overextending, but no one willing to show their heads for Trash.
Yeah, this time it's Azerbaijan Technology's turn to do this turtle snake water last hold. Gun in the same spot, dispenser in the same spot. We will see. They know still Trash has been on sniper for a long time, so they certainly know about it. We'll see how smyb try to work their sniper to try to get something. Maybe try to bait a soldier in, maybe try to get a hero peek onto the medic. But it's just Pride throwing some rockets here in top left. Will land on the pack, but the stickies get reset. Trash opting to go top left now, maybe try and catch out Campbell, but Campbell again playing the sightlines really well, just sticking himself off, will just dissuade any sort of sniper pick there. Just another stalemate.
Yeah, do we do the same thing of what Azerbaijan did? Burn down the clock, use the Uber, tried go for a point play, tried use the Uber, take down the gun, or actually no, they're gonna. I feel like what they're gonna do is they're gonna try to go for a banner play. Actually,
yeah,
because I did just see a banner on the side of what you call it, SMYB. I believe that is on Pride there. So I think the plan is to use that banner by looks of things.
Yeah, Pride is just spamming some rockets from Shutter here, getting anything to build up that banner. I think it's the battalion's backup. He's about 75%, 60% there. So it looks like this is the play they're going for. Trash is still on sniper, so they would have had enough time to, you know, maybe go for a hero peek, maybe switch Trash back to soldier, but it's a bit of a hybrid play. Here's the hero peek. Now Trash goes for it. He just misses a little bit too high over the head of Samson, but he will be sent to the respawn queue and probably spawning up soldier there. It looks like the banner play is what they're going to go for.
Yeah, I think that's like their stack play as well for the side of SMYB Trash, trying to go for the hero play. And I think, as you're right, banner play is the call of order for the side of SMYB. APVC going spy checking other off classes. I think he probably does notice the soldier banner, so he probably is going to com that to his team there. And with 53 seconds left on the clock, SMYB need to make a move onto this last point here.
Yeah, 50 seconds left, and we will go to a round reset. We will go to another mid. Azerbaijan Technology just trying to hold on to their last point here. The trade comes out. That's Tennis trying to get something. The counter pop does happen, and here comes the banner. Pride in cheese, holding it. He's going to go through right here. So 35% damage reduction for the blue team as they try and get through. The gun is still level 3 though, and they're through clean. The gun goes down, the NG goes down, but here comes the crown aggression. Players dying on both teams at single-digit HP for a few players on smyb, and unfortunately, they don't pull it off.
Yeah, and with 13 seconds left on the clock, round reset is inevitable here. I think, yeah, Azerbaijan realize, and I think they're just going to chill on last here, and we are going into a round reset here now.
Yeah, the battalion's back up. looking good. They did actually get all 6 players through the choke there.
Yeah.
Pretty clean, and with the damage reduction, I believe it's all sources 35%, but also an extra resistance to the sentry. They do get through. But just the crunch from Azerbaijan able to kill them all, basically. So the banner not working out. We will go into probably our 5th mid here. I think this is the first round reset of Snakewater. Maybe the team's playing a little bit more tentatively, as they both do not want to lose this deciding map here. Again, 2 up for Azerbaijan Technology. First 1 to 3 will win. The soldier comes in fast into Saw. That's Homer. APVC following up, trying to get a few good rockets, and he does. Takes down Golden as Lily will fall on the other side of things. It's currently a 3v3. Azerbaijan Technology trying to reconvene with their medic, but they're so split up on other sides of the map. Homer is going to get a nice rocket onto Pride, who will fall himself. And that's the enemy medic. That's Azerbaijan Technology's medic, Samson, stuck on second there, but he will find his soldier APVC to preserve this overcharge.
Yeah, Azerbaijan do manage to keep Samson alive and actually have a pretty much actually full Ubrad. So already choosing to retake this midpoint here and not even captured for the side of smyb. Golden getting taken out in a crucial time as well. Definitely not ideal there, but Uberad coming up on the side of Azerbaijan Technology. But and I think they are, where do they choose to go? I think they are looking to just go through Saw by looks of things, or potentially lower. Looks like they are just waiting to see, wait for the point capture and then decide. But this ad is actually fading very quickly here, and as you said, it's just might turn into another even Uber situation.
Yeah, they're being pretty optimistic here, still going for it. The Uber is up for the blue team, but they're just not in position to take any sort of trade onto second, so they will just back out to last here. Again, maybe trying to not go for any sort of risky plays here. This is map point and series point for Azerbaijan. They end up taking a trade top left. Both teams use their Uber. Heavy is out for Fane to try and dissuade anyone from getting onto the point. Homer comes in now, trying to get a rocket onto Golden. Golden with a nice surf down to single-digit HP will preserve his life, so it's only 2 alive now for Azerbaijan. Air is going for the point, but they do catch him. 3 HP certainly will fall. He just dances around, but he will end up falling to Fane. But Samson did get out at the end there, will catch his false spawners, and they'll try to go for something again in Azerbaijan.
Yeah, it took a while to even get someone to beam, so it is actually a little bit ad for the side of smyb. But however though, I think it's just going to play another even Uber situation, and that, I'm not too sure they traded it. I think they want to try and collapse on them, depending on where they ended. But I feel like they could have just played it slow, just play sort of normal sort of sack tempo, and maybe just go for an off-class sort of play. I don't think they need to do anything fancy, anything too crazy there. But otherwise, yeah, it is back to even Ubers. Both teams have their meds up, both teams are grinding it, and it looks like smyb are the ones to make the first move here.
Yeah, and making the move through Saw they are. The soldiers come out to try and make some space for their team, and it's looking really clean so far. APVC is caught on bats. Fane trying to pick him up. Pride is just trying to get some heals onto the point, but they do find APVC in the midst of all of that, and they get the second point as well. So they will have an opportunity now to even things up.
Yeah, indeed, and this... Well, actually, as I said, though, Tennis does get taken out, and this is nice damage crunch coming up from Campbell there onto the combo of smyb here, and this game now, I feel like it's gone on for hours, because now this is where you think about fatigue falling into effect, people getting lazy, not clearing corners. But as I said though, it looks like both teams are still in the game, in for the match, and in the fight still. And as I said, Azerbaijan do manage to retake this second point here. However though, both teams still keeping Uber for both sides.
Yeah, neither Uber getting used, as you say, so we will fall into another stalemate here on Snakewater second, and I have to agree, surely the fatigue is going to have an effect for both teams here. It feels almost like a best of 5 with how long it's been going on. Granary was a very long overtime, and again with that pause certainly delayed things, but both gamers, I'm sure they've been playing Pugs for hours on end before, so not too uncharted territory as we see the double soldier sack coming out for smyb. They are trying to get something onto the deck, trying to get a force. Really nice serve from Samson, will end up getting out of that situation onto Bats. Doesn't pick up the pack because it hasn't spawned yet, but he will pick it up now, so really great. And on the other side of things, the counter sack is already out, and the Uber's been used by Golden. So the double sack coming from Azerbaijan Technology will be successful, and it will get a full Uber ad up for the red team here.
Yeah, but now, as I say though, Azerbaijan, they do lose 2 players, but they do have Uber, so I think they can just use defensively. But there is someone behind being Fane here. Fane causing a little bit of distraction, does get taken out. Air does take him in the process. However, Uber does get popped on the side of Azerbaijan Technology. They do manage to work their way into mid a little bit. However, though, no other aggression though coming out from them. They only do manage to work their way just onto the bottom of lower there, but unfortunately don't manage to retake the midpoint there. But it looks like, yeah, SMYB do hold on and now have ads. So this is very, very back and forth, very, very leapfroggy, as we were saying during the game.
Yeah, the Uber maybe just used a little bit too early there for Samson. I think they saw the enemy combo, they tried to pounce on them, but Golden was far back enough to get out with the scout speed, and now they preserved a bit of Uber ad. It's fading very quickly. It looks like Azerbaijan building a little bit better, so they're just trying to go for a dry push here through lowers again. The soldiers making space by jumping through, and the entirety of Azerbaijan, except for Homer, are just in lobby trying to play on last, so Homer will get caught. Even Ubers for both teams, and smyb will be trying to push this player at advantage. They're looking to maybe go through lowers, maybe walk it, maybe use it, as they are just throwing some projectiles back and forth. They're walking through lowers. The soldiers double bomb onto the right spawn. They're trying to even things up here. smyb to go 2-2 in the series. It's a 6v4 at the moment, but Trash does fall, but they get the all-important demo pick. Campbell is going to fall in the Uber. Tennis picks him up, and certainly with the repush now coming, they get Doctrine just sticking the point. So much damage being thrown both ways. Homer's in the skybox, is going to try sink, and he gets one, but not the rest, and smyb tie things up.
2-2. SMYB managed to recover. They were at a round deficit earlier, but now they managed to pull back and equal the scoreline in this overtime. It is 2-4-2 now. It is now match point for either team, match point for SMYB. But yeah, do or die still for either side here, and this could be the last mid of this series.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams on series point. First 1 to 3 wins. And the demo's just throwing some stickies back and forth. We'll see if there's any change of pace in these mids. Trash going for an earshot, but he won't hit it as the soldiers land, do the red soldiers, but they won't find the kill on to Golden. On the other side of things, Tennis and Trash pick up a couple. So that's Samson down for the red team. There's still some players in mid. They're just the players on Azerbaijan Technology unhealed, and it looks like SMYB managed to get out. Fane is still in. He's trying to go for something, but he will die in the 2v1. But smyb get out with their Uber.
Yeah, SMYB do manage to live. Golden does live, I guess, the first time as well. He's lived on Snake One in the mid, I'm pretty sure. And Samson does get taken out. So I thought SMYB almost had that there, taking out Samson. However, though, they do lose a few plays there, but however, now have Uberad able to retake this midpoint, which they are trying to work their way through Saw by looks of things. And they are working their way through Saw slowly, and it looks like Doctrine trying to go catwalk here. But yeah, Azerbaijan playing further back here, waiting for the aggressive play coming up from SMYB.
Yeah, APVC's trying to hide in kitchen, but he will get found out and manages to live on 18 HP. There's a scout still in, that's Air, picks up Fane on the flank, will trade his life for it. But he has delayed long enough for Samson to be up to 90% Uber here, so even players, even Ubers once again. smyb will get the midpoint, and we'll see how they choose to play this once again.
Yeah, indeed, and it looks like it is just even Ubers again for both sides here. Fane going to Spider, I think just going for forward spawns. However, though, yeah, both teams are even Ubers here. The ad does fade for the side of SMYB, and we've already been here for, I'd say, 3 hours almost. So we started at 8. It's already, what time is it my time? It is 9:35 p.m. my time in Brisbane, 10 for the other gamers. So it's a very, very late night for these gamers here. So yeah, you can imagine fatigue's definitely coming to effect.
Yeah, 100%. As you say, it's been a 2.5 hour match so far. Let's go for 3, baby. It's another stalemate here. This double sack does come out. Trash just fading. Pride has found his way into Cheese, but he's circled on both sides. Homer picks up the frag there as Campbell is just throwing some stickies in. He catches the scout, is caught in, but they won't find the frag. Yes, they will. Lily ended up getting Tennis there. Now that's a 2-player advantage for Azerbaijan Technology. They're certainly going to be trying to poke and prod their way into mid here. They get through Cat clean. Samson does get low though, so he is going to have to use first. They force the flash out, does Lily though, so even trade it looks like, as they are sort of staying in. Will they, won't they? They're backing up now, trying to get the heals onto Campbell. Homer's in the skybox, will catch himself and maybe will live as well. No, Trash picks up the kill onto him, trades his life for it. Pride is in the backlines throwing some rockets at Campbell, who will need the arrow, but it's just carnage going on now. Pride onto the medic, will find Samson. You'll take the trade any day as a soldier, and it's looking like the mid ends up winning for smyb.
a very, very dire situation from the side of Azerbaijan, and it looks super scary for smyb as well. At one point, you saw 4 people all on low HP. Hey, their health was not looking good, but then Pride getting the kill onto Samson there, and that's sort of like salvaged it. And now it's pretty much full Uber for the side of smyb, and not much aggression coming from the side of Azerbaijan on the second point. Not much resistance, I should say. And we do have an NG and now Sniper on the side of Azerbaijan, and I think they realize it is now a dire moment for them, as they are they are now facing the factor of elimination with full Uberad on the side of smyb coming up shortly.
Absolutely, smyb with the opportunity to put this game to bed, to come back after going 1-0 down so convincingly on process. They can bring it all the way back here as they use through Shutter. Doctrine gets the gun eventually, but it's a bit long, so they aren't able to cross. The soldier bombs come out for the red team to try and defend. There's half cap time, but now there's a 450 heavy onto the point, so it's not looking the greatest for the side of smyb. The Uber comes out as well for Azerbaijan, and they're able to clean up a lot of kills here. Pride is going for some sort of salvage play, gets a lot of damage onto the point, but unfortunately no kills, and the only one left alive is Golden, who's not healing either, so it won't even be Uberad for the side of smyb.
It might just be even. It might actually be even Ubers, or basically even Ubers for. I'd say even Ubers for both sides. But Golden managed to live down. At least Med does stay alive, so at least they can play a little bit forward. They don't need to fall back too far. And it looks like, yeah, they're already on mid. They're already trying up Sword here. And this looks like we're going again back to square one. Like, this is super back and forth. And some of these last pushes are coming down to the wire, especially with these Uber plays.
Yeah, 100%. An opportunity there for smyb to put the game to bed, but unfortunately they just can't convert. But as you say, these last pushes are so close. It could go either way here. And once again, they're dry pushing through lowest to very little resistance, even though it's not much add. Here comes the resistance though. Lily trying to take a trade out. The blue team hasn't used yet. They will now. So much better Uber coming out for smyb. They can solo it as well. No need for flashes. And Tennis wants to take this all the way deep into lobby to try and get something, but the Uber fades just in time before he can get into anything on top left. They also have lost 2 in the process. The scout in the backlines now. Here's Air trying to get some frags onto anyone. Gets a nice 104 onto the scout. 103 onto the medic, but somehow doesn't clean up either of them. And they preserve their lives somehow to the combo for smyb. They get out with the 40% Uber charge that it is, and they are building up the ad onto mid, and they might be able to take this into a round winning scenario once again.
Hopefully, and that's actually Samson getting taken out. So now Golden with pretty much full Uber ad, 65% Uber ad, and as a result, they are actually hopefully able to close this up. It's only 20% for Samson there, so surely he can't get Uber in the post. I don't think he can. I hope he doesn't. I hope he, I hope he doesn't, get it, because otherwise we're going to be here for another 3 hours, hopefully. But otherwise, yeah. Full Uber for the side of smyb, and they need to make a move fast, which they have. Going through this right-hand shot, does put the gun here, and does Tennis choose to go for the point play immediately. 6 times capturing the point. That point is almost captured here. It is do or die for Azerbaijan, but frags going in favor. Oh my god, this is getting down to the wire here, and it looks like smyb do close it out. They are moving into that semi-final, which they are going to be facing triple from the other game. My goodness.
Yeah, what a mash. smyb ending up to clutch it out. The comeback as well after going 4-0 down on process. It looked like it was going to be a sweep for Azerbaijan Technology, but they found some momentum on Granary, and then right at the end here, after being 2-1 down for what felt like forever on Snakewater, they're able to end up winning it 3-2, and they progress. Azerbaijan Technology are done.
Yeah, smyb will be facing off against TTT because the other game was played tonight as well, and as a result, TTT were the ones that lost against WOG and Co, so they will be facing off against each other, TTT taking on smyb here. And to be honest, there is chance of a third place, people, like some people getting, first time Prem could even get a placement potentially. So this is actually a really, really close game. Next week, hopefully it's a close game for TTT taking on smyb, but you do have the log on your screen here, and one thing to note is Lilia with 40 kills, and unfortunately just could not close it out there. But when you look at the side of smyb, no one really had 40 plus kills. Everyone was sort of chipping in, doing what they need to do, especially the soldiers, I say, of smyb, creating a lot of space there. Air obviously having a very, very low damage. It can explain why, just due to his off-classing. He is just going NG, just playing a sort of supportive. role, but overall, I feel like the side of SMYB, despite no one having a standout game, everyone was sort of chipping in, doing what needs to be done, especially their soldiers, being Pride and Trash. When you look at the kills as well, that definitely highlights, with Pride getting 5 med picks, and then Trash, obviously, just with the 2, but I think Pride more just because he was just going behind nonstop and just sort of causing chaos in the backline.
Yeah, 100%. I think it was really, really great team play from smyb on this, what was ended up being a grueling match, a grueling last map as well. 47 minutes here. We were stuck on Snakewater. But I agree, the space that the soldiers created for smyb just created so many opportunities and set them up for 2 round-winning scenarios. They only needed to win 1. They won the second one and put the game to bed 3-2. So it looks, yeah, let's maybe take a look at the bracket if we can immediately. Yeah. So smyb are progressing. Azerbaijan Technology are out, and as you were saying, this might be a close match next game against Triple T.
Definitely. So this is now what the bracket set up, guys, as well. So after this week's games are all done, so everyone has played their games. As you can see, these are the final scores. So we do say goodbye to Azerbaijan Technology and Freakoff. And next week we do have, in the semi-final 1, we have Digger Familyland taking on Ascension and Triple T taking on SMYB. The winners of those games will be go facing Balls and Co respectively. But otherwise, a very, very close game, very scrappy, down to the wire. But SMYB do manage to crawl it back despite being 2 rounds down, and they do manage to close it out. A very, very long night for them. I feel like very well earned victory. The process not starting off. Oh, and speaking about the brackets and playoffs, we do also have Summer Brawl for those people not aware, starting up next year.
Yeah, as you say, Summer Brawl, this is January 17th. It is a LAN. If you happen to be in Brisbane or you want to be in Brisbane around these dates, please do not hesitate to go to the CappingTV Summer Brawl. You can find all the information you need to know at lan.cappingtv.com. It will be a great time. I mean, I've been to a few CappingTV LANs. They're always very well organized, and you get to see some high action TF2.
Yeah, but casting as well, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. You can see them live.
But otherwise, any chance you want to give Corb before we wrap things up after a long night of casting?
I'll give a shout out to the casting team. I think I always do because I don't know who's shout out. But shout out to Ghost, shout out to Mitch, Shigbeard, and Shana for producing on what is a very long night. Oh, maybe not Shana was not here. But they were in the last one, so they can have a shout out anyway.
Yeah, obviously, thank you for both teams playing. Thank you for Mitch and Shigbeard for producing, Corb T for obviously casting with me. Congratulations to SMYB for taking out the victory of tonight's game. And commiserations for Azerbaijan. A tough fought battle for them. But otherwise, that is pretty much it from us. Hopefully, you'll catch us next week for some more Prem action, or even some more TF2 action next week. But otherwise, yeah. Have a good night, stay safe, and we will catch you guys next time.